Good everybody, welcome. Good to have you guys here. We are just about to start right now. My name's Ashton. I'm one of the Google trainers, especially when it comes to grow with Google. It's good to have you guys here. And as you know, we've been running a series of different videos just to help you guys out, especially within this time period right now. So it's really good to have you guys here. Firstly, what I want to do is welcome you guys in. I also want to say a big shout out to our moderators, which are just on the side. So God knows, good to have you here. But then also nice to have Elizabeth here as well. So guys, make yourself known. This is a very, very interactive session. So we want you guys to get involved. You want questions, all of that type of stuff. We are looking at business marketing today. So if you have a business or maybe you're thinking about starting one up, the importance of marketing, especially when it comes to online. So again, we're going to explore all of the different kind of possibilities and channels and so on. So please make sure that you have a pen and paper ready. These sessions will be available after. So again, you'll be able to kind of come back and just look at some of the content that we mentioned within this presentation. So again, feel free to again come back to this. But if you do have some questions, put that into the live chat. Our moderators are going to try their best to answer that for you. But then also what we'll do is we'll pause for questions at the end of our presentations as well. So again, there will be a pause. But good to have you guys here. If you haven't let yourself known in the chat, why not go ahead and open up a YouTube channel? You don't have to put any videos on there, but you'll be able to start chatting with us. And also the moderators are there to help you out too. So please keep an eye on the chat. Some of the things I will mention as well, we'll have some links in the chat too. So feel free again to get involved and keep it very, very interactive. So again, my name is Ashton. I'm your trainer for today. And again, we are taking a look at business marketing. Now we're going to break this down into some sections, so let's explore that. And as you can see, this is the agenda that we're going to explore today. So firstly, we're going to look at how you can build a digital marketing plan and strategy. This is really cool, and again, I would definitely say have your pen, your paper ready, because we're going to give you a menu of all of the different digital channels and the best way that you can promote your business out there. Also, second, you can see there, we're going to also take a look at digital advertising and the best ways that you can kind of use and leverage some of the paid for options when it comes to digital advertising and the best ways that you can kind of use that and get those tools working for your business. And then lastly, you can see here we've got analytics as well. So anyone who is not too sure about it, we're just going to do a foundation of understanding what analytics is all about, but it's very, very important if you are doing a marketing campaign or perhaps you've got your website online. This is a great tool to go with that. So we're going to break this up. As you can see, this is the agenda that we're taking a look at. It's going to be a lot of information, but again, great to have you guys here. And as mentioned, please, you can rewind back and come back to some of this stuff. So again, this is going to be a fun-packed one. Do have your pen and your paper ready. It's going to be great. Okay, so we're going to get started with our first session, which is building a digital marketing strategy. So digital marketing is really important, and this is where we're just going to give you just a menu of all of the different platforms that are out there and help you out in terms of a strategy for when that comes and for you guys when it comes to that point. So let's take a look at the modules that we are going to explore within this section of the presentation. So first we would just have an introduction to digital marketing and really what that's all about, okay, and just kind of how you can leverage it, make it work for you, and how it's worked for other businesses too. Also, second, we'll learn about the digital marketing channels, and again, this is where we'll have a menu and look at all of the different channels that are available to us, especially when it comes to digital marketing. And lastly, within this module, we'll take a look at a digital marketing strategy as well, and how you guys can use this in order to measure and plan your activities when it comes to doing your digital marketing for your business. So again, feel free to drop some questions in. Our moderators are there too, so feel free to talk to them as they are going to help you out with those questions. And again, we will be pausing for questions as well, so we want to keep this as interactive as possible. All right, so let's get started firstly with an intro to digital marketing and really what it's all about. So when we look at digital marketing, well, marketing firstly, not digital marketing, but marketing firstly, you'll notice that again, it's been around us forever. We pretty much have it in different forms, whether it could be print or maybe on radio or media, certain advertisements. But it's great because it's a way that we can kind of measure the market, see what's out there, see what trends are out there, which is kind of connecting to our audiences or customers that are there at the moment. And again, this is something that we kind of had for ages, you know, and it's not necessarily a digital form, but we've had this in many different formats. And as you can see with this great Coca-Cola image that we've got here, this is a gigantic kind of marketing poster that they've got. But again, it works, and we've seen this pretty much everywhere. Wherever we kind of go, there is all kind of forms of marketing which is out there. So again, it's definitely something that has been around for ages. But when we take a look at digital marketing, it is again great, but it kind of helps us in terms of increase kind of our reach. We have different forms of media that we can use. So again, we could do it in a form of video. There could be different types, electronic billboards, digital advertising, which is pretty much around websites. So there are different channels that we can use. But I think one of the great things is that we're able to track. We can actually track and see exactly how our digital marketing is doing. We can also have a look at the engagement as well, of like how many kind of customers come over and take a look at our digital marketing, and also kind of convert that into sales, you know, like, and actually see what our goal is with this. But again, digital marketing is very good. And there are so many ways that we can reach different audiences all around the world internationally, but also measure and communicate as well. So again, this is definitely something that I would recommend, is something for any kind of business which is online right now, to definitely use digital marketing. As you can see, there are different ways that we're going to explore this. But before we do that, let's take a look at some stats which are out there at the moment, and just explaining really kind of the area where the majority of audiences are based right now. So just looking at this, there are 747 million SIM connections in sub-Sahara Africa. Okay, so again, there is quite a lot of people using that data, having, you know, again, ways to access the internet through their mobile. So again, this is definitely a good point. 91% of South Africans own mobile phones. So again, that's showing you this is a platform pretty much where most of us will be going to, not only to be entertained, but also to do our work, grab emails, grab some news as well. But amongst that, there is a lot of advertising which is there. And also 80% of Kenyans and also Nigerians respectively too. So again, this is quite a high number. And lastly, some of 65% of active mobile phone users in Nigeria have shopped online. So that is also quite a big thing. But what we're trying to say here really is that there is a major big market out here, okay, of an audience which is using their mobile phones and using the mobile in order to buy stuff as well. So this is a perfect platform for us to be on right now and to be advertising. So again, this is just to let you know, if you have a website or perhaps you've got a marketing campaign, and if it's not mobile friendly, you could be losing out really when it comes to your audience trying to connect with your product or your brand. So this is very important. Just some stats to chuck out there. And what we'll do is I'm going to start the first question that we have within the chat. So what opportunities might you get from connecting with customers online? Okay, so this is a question out to all of you guys. Please get involved in the chat. Be really good to get your responses. So again, what opportunities might you get from connecting with customers online? Okay, so let us know in the chat. Again, we've got our moderators that are in this, so it'd be really good just to kind of get your responses. But again, what do you reckon the opportunities you might have? So again, have a look. So this is good just to get us all talking on here, but our moderators are there. So again, it'll be really good. Now, there is just a slight delay, but I should be able to see some of your responses as we go on. So yeah, increased brand image. Thank you, Ben, for that one. And again, there's a few others which are coming through. So get involved in the chat, guys. Let us know the answer to this question for you anyway. Yeah, we're getting more. That's coming through, which is really cool. So let's just move on and just show you some of the opportunities from being online. So definitely, some of you have already picked this up within the chat, but definitely you can increase your reach, okay, which is amazing. So imagine your marketing is available 24/7, 7 days a week, okay, and also is international. So you can reach different audiences which are there too. So again, very great when it comes to increasing your reach. Also, we can learn about our customers as well, kind of what attracts them, what kind of images and so on is going to resonate more so for them to get involved and engage with our brand, you know. So again, it's very interesting, and we can see this. There are various tools out there which we're going to take a look at, which will help us kind of understand the behavior of our customers, you know, and what they do, what makes them kind of go ahead and click onto that advert. So again, they can kind of be taken to our website, maybe buy a product or something like that. But then also another great thing is a two-way thing here. So we can definitely communicate support. And I think one of the great things is that we can leave reviews. Most of us will go online and we'll read reviews. And again, if let's say if it's our business, we definitely can communicate and just have this two-way conversation with customers to help improve our business or our brand. So again, these are just some points here, but as mentioned, you know, these are some of the things, opportunity of being online. For me, the biggest thing is an international market out there. You can have a website and it's open for business pretty much everywhere. So this is definitely some of the things which is great, but also your customers too, learning about what your customer does, especially when it comes to your advertisement, and also on your website too. So as mentioned, it is definitely something for global reach. Okay, so again, you're having this kind of, you know, again, business website, something like that. You can reach people in any part of the world, which is amazing. And I've known many different clients, many different people who basically have their website, but they're tracking and having a look to see what type of new audiences they've picked up because they've placed, you know, their presence online. It's amazing for, you know, the type of audiences that you can reach. So try and think big, especially when it comes to reaching to many different audiences around the world. And we're going to explain a little bit about this. You've got this little graphic which is shown, which is Google Trends, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as time goes on within this presentation. Now, another thing as well is the fact that you can learn about your customers, okay? So actually what we're seeing here, these are two screenshots which are taken from firstly analytics, but also Facebook Insights. And I'm not sure if you guys know or use this, please let us know in the chat if you use any insights or analytics to learn about your customers. If you don't, it's okay, because this is basically what we're going to talk about throughout this presentation. But let us know in the chat if you have been using this. Now again, this screenshot, what you can see here of analytics, and again, I'll just show you guys what we've got here. Just little section right here. It's great because it's basically giving us all of the data of what's happening on our website. So it's letting us know the age range. It's also telling us here, you know, male or female who've been visiting. So again, it's really cool because it's kind of like, I guess, our, you know, having a shop and you can see who's coming in, who you're attracting. So again, this type of information is really, really important. Now, you'll notice just on the other side as well that we do have the option of looking at Facebook too. So anyone who has like a Facebook business account, you can see here we've got all of those type of demographics, the information of all of the engagement which is happening. So again, anyone pretty much who has, let's say, a Facebook business page or Instagram page, anything like that, or even a website, you can use these tools to learn more about who you're attracting and what your customer is doing, okay, if they're really engaging with your brand online. So again, this is really interesting. We're going to explore a little bit more about some of these tools as we push on. And lastly, the whole thing of communicating as well. So most of us have probably gone online, we've looked at reviews, some of us may have left reviews as well, but as a business owner, we can directly communicate with these reviews with our customers, just to, again, if there's any problems, anything like that, it's direct communication, okay? And people are gonna let us know straight away online through reviews how well we are doing. So again, very, very cool, but just some of those options here when it comes to being online, especially for digital marketing. Now, this is where we're going to explore some of the different channels, okay, digital marketing channels that are out there. So definitely, guys, what I will say is have yourself pen and paper, because this is where we're going to go through the different channels that you can use to market your business digitally online. So here we go. These are some of the channels, okay? And as you can see, we've got SEO, we've got SEM, which is search engine marketing, social media marketing, display marketing, email marketing, and lastly, one of my favorites is content marketing, which is on here. So let's just take a look at these. So again, this is something which we're going to go through. Now, SEO is completely free, okay, but it does take up a bit of time, and it's great for promoting your website, especially when it comes to search. SEM, search engine marketing, as you can see here, it's paid advertisements. We'll explore a little bit about that. And also we've got social media marketing. Most of us might be on social media, especially for our business. So this is definitely a great platform or channel to market. Display marketing, which is also quite a good one. We'll have a little look into that, which is basically having billboards, kind of like a billboard online type of thing, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. And also email marketing and content marketing. Content marketing being one of my favorite ones, as you can go ahead and create different content which is going to attract your customer to your brand and your business. So we're going to firstly start off with search marketing on here, okay? So again, we'll break these down and we'll go through these, okay? So let's take a look at search marketing on this. So firstly, what I want to do is just kind of show you guys a screenshot of just a Google search here. This is the results page, and normally whenever we go in, we'll normally go to the top and put in what we're looking for, and this is what we call the search query. Okay, so this is where we're able to kind of go in, put in exactly what we're looking for, and then Google is just going to come back and give the results. Okay, so this is normally broken down into keywords. All right, so again, if someone has put camera, for instance, it's then going to try and bring up all of the relevant kind of websites to do around that keyword. We're going to explain a little bit more about that. Now, just to break this down even more, you can see that second section is for paid section, or it's the paid ads. Okay, so some of us might do that Google search and then we'll notice, hold on a minute, we've actually got a paid section. These are ads. So every time someone goes ahead and they click onto this, the person who kind of runs that ad is going to have to pay for it. So it's like pay per click, basically. So again, it's really good, but if you want to be at the top of the results, you know, again, you can pay for it. But this is also using kind of keywords that we have to bid. So we'll explain a little bit more about that. Now, that last section, which is underneath, is organic search, as you can see, right? So organic search is completely free, and this is all based on kind of rankings, how many people have visited your website, the activity on your site as well. Also, the connecting keywords also. So again, when we think about, again, how we've got that search at the top, someone would have had to put in camera, something, 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 and then that's going to show up under the organic search. So making sure that we're on there. But again, as mentioned, these three different parts. So the search query, this is exactly where someone comes in and they put in the different keywords or what they're looking for. Then Google's going to come back and give you those results. At the top will be ads, which, you know, companies have paid for, but also we've got organic listings as well, okay, which is all to do with SEO. So let's just take a little look about how we can kind of help our website. So if you do have a website out there, here's a question. If you do have a website, have you been using SEO? Okay, have you been using SEO, search engine optimization, in order to help your website attract more users, especially when it comes to search? Now, if you have, again, we'll just put that question in there. Our moderators are doing a great job, so that's cool. But yeah, if you haven't, here are some things that you can use. Now, firstly, you definitely could, you know, build your website regardless of which one kind of platform you're using. So you could be using, again, this could be WordPress, it could be, you know, Squarespace, all of these different website builders. But once you've built it, what you want to do is make sure that you clearly put on all of the different descriptions and potentially keywords that your customer could be putting into search. So if you do have any products, it's making sure that you have it nice and clear, that you have those words potentially that your customer will be placing into search. Now, some of the things also to mention is that you can submit your website firstly to Search Console. Okay, so Search Console is a free tool basically from Google, and you'll need to just literally set it up. And what it does is it just shows you how you're ranking, but also tells you what type of keywords have been used as well, the impressions too. So this is a free tool from Google that you can use. So Search Console is one of them. Now, another thing as well, which is really, really cool that you can see here too, is the fact that you want to make sure that you understand your site map. Okay, so again, what is the kind of map of your website? Okay, so you might have that home page, about, and then all of your different products, but making sure that that's right. And also keep your website up to date. You might have a blog or something like that on there, or just a news section, which then ensures that you're currently updating, and it also helps your ranking too. And again, make sure that you have, you know, all the best images and so on, but the descriptions are really, really important. Now, also when you are kind of creating your sites, you can also have those snippets, okay, created too. So those snippets, just to mention, is whenever you go into search or on Google, you get the headline of the result, but you get a little kind of description of it, and that's also do with your snippets. So again, depending on what platform you're using for your website, these are going to give you the option to create snippets and make sure that your keywords are fine. So just to break this down even more, you can see here, firstly, you might want to run keyword research. Okay, so what type of keywords can you have on your website, which is then going to help connect when it comes to someone searching for your website? So firstly, guess what you could do is maybe first just take your hat off as your person and put your hat on as the customer. Okay, and think about what type of questions or keywords that they might be placing into search in order to bring up your business. So one of these things that you could use, again, there's quite a few tools out there, but Google has their own one, which is Google Keyword Planner, okay, which is really good, just helps you kind of look at the best kind of keywords and how much reach you can get for them. So again, this is really cool. There's also Uber Suggest as well. This is completely free if you want to do some more stuff. And there's also Keywords Everywhere. These are free. We don't pay for these at all. So again, this is just going to help you to understand what the best keywords are to have on your web page. Okay. Now, as mentioned before, you definitely want to have high quality content, and you want to keep publishing all the time. So again, you might have a, you know, news or whatever blog, but keep that coming, and also understand exactly what's trending right now for your customers. And also, as we've seen here through the stats, mobile friendly is really important because a lot of us are accessing websites and so on via our mobile phones. We definitely want to make sure that we are clearing this up, and it's great. Now also, there's something we can use for our website just to make sure that it's optimized, and that's called Test My Site. Okay, so again, this is something that you can just Google. It's a tool from Google, and it just scans your website and make sure that it's mobile friendly, but then also that it is running efficiently. Maybe the images are not too big to load up on someone's mobile phone. So again, these are just some things to mention, especially when it comes to search engine optimization. So there are also local business listings as well. So just to mention to you, you know, we've got 3 different types here, but we've got these to help customers get to, let's say, local businesses around. So these are like your local business listings. Now, as you can see here, Google My Business is the first one that you can see, a TripAdvisor and so on. So again, these are great, and Frog also. Now, what we can do firstly is submit our business and get validated so it can show up on these online local listings. Google My Business is very, very good because it's free for one, but also makes you show up in search and show up on Google Maps. So this is definitely something to be looking at. It's completely free, so you don't have to pay for it. But just to show you again how you could use this to connect to potential customers, you can see here we can make announcements. Okay, so once you set up your Google My Business, you can make announcements, upcoming events, any sort of promotions, any deals, you can put that on there. And the more that you keep doing it and showing that you're active, this is best practice. It's definitely going to help you in terms of getting your site up there and recognized a little bit more. So again, very cool, but you definitely want to have pictures and keep updating it. So this is separate from your website, but it just means that when someone does a search, maybe on Google Maps or maybe on search, they're going to see that you have that knowledge card or that business card that shows up on search as well. So definitely recommend if you can, if your local business setting up and having a look at Google My Business on here. Okay, so we're going to pause for some questions. So again, this is where our moderators will pick up some of the questions that you guys might have, and I'm going to try my best to answer these for you guys. So let's have a look and see if there are any which has come through. Again, there is a slight delay, so I'll just wait a little while just for some of these questions to come through. But it seems like everyone seems to be okay, because I'm not seeing too many things. Just seeing the question, do we get the slides, please? Unfortunately, no, we don't give off the slides, but this video will stay online. Okay, so again, it's going to stay online. You can come back and watch this again. Okay, so feel free to just rewind this back. So again, I'll just have a quick check to see if there's any questions. I don't think there is. So that's great. We can continue going, as there is quite a lot going on. So let's just see. I don't think there is any. So trying to, okay, I think there is one. So I've been trying to Google My Business since January, but I did not receive a verification code. Okay, cool. We actually do have sessions on this. So one of our previous sessions that we've done, we explain a little bit more about it. But yes, I would definitely go to the Google My Business website and just ensure that you have been validated again. But we do have a presentation on this that we done 2 weeks ago, so please just review that again, and also maybe our moderators can give you some links to help you out with that one. But thank you. Let's see what else we've got. Can you help with Google My Business listings? Yes, we've done a session again, so again, please take a look at that. Do I need a website, or can I create a website with you? Yes, Andrew, you can create a website with Google My Business. It's literally just a one-page one though. So if you did sign up for Google My Business, Google does have a one-page website that's free and that be created for you. But also just to let you know as well that there is Google Sites too, if you're interested in that. Okay, great. That will be all the questions for now. We will try and get to everything, but we've got just to keep pushing on because we've got quite a bit to show you guys. So let's move on to the next half. And again, thank you to our moderators. Have those questions ready, guys, so we can try and answer them the best that we can in time. Okay, so getting started with social media marketing. For me, social media marketing is amazing. You know, it's so many different people on social media, so many different channels, different ways to promote yourself. So just to find out here, who actually has been using social media for their business, let us know within the chat. It'd be really good just to get a census of how many people are actually using this. And again, this is something which is free, but we also can pay for this too. So let's break this down. So firstly, if you are using social media and using it the right way, you can get new customers. You can definitely generate more sales as well. And it's also great because you can reach new people. I've known many businesses to, you know, have a great campaign on social media, and they are reaching new people, they're expanding their business, it's doing really well. But it's just knowing those tools and knowing exactly where your audience is and what platform they're using. Also as well, definitely gives you value to your brand too. So again, you're definitely going to find that you can raise customer service levels. You can have those two-way conversations with people too. So you'll notice that again, we want to create some kind of community online, especially around our business. We want our customers to come back and communicate with us. We want them to leave us comments. So again, this is definitely something that on social media we have too. And also with the insights, I showed you before the Facebook kind of insight page. We have this on pretty much all those social media channels where we're able to actually go through and take a look and see how well our marketing is doing, how well our reach is doing as well. So these are just some of the things that we can use, but it's great also to measure how well our marketing is doing when it comes to social media. So let's break it down into two sections. As you can see here, we've got organic, but we've also got paid as well. Okay, so when we say organic, it's completely free. Well, you know, we just put in our time into it, really. It's not necessarily, you know, time is money, but it's free. We don't have to pay. And also you will reach, you know, your audience, followers, and so on. So anyone pretty much who is following your business on social media, you can reach those, but also try to get new people too. Now, when we look at for pay per click or paying for social media, you can see one of the things again is, you know, we can have a campaign, which is really good. We can target and reach specific customers, because again, some of the criteria that we're going to be asked, again, is something that we can just target a specific type of audience or customer. So again, the reach is great because we're targeting our reach when it comes to paid for social media. Now, some of the things, again, just to bring up, especially if you're, trying to create that campaign when it comes to social media, these are just some of the things just to mention to you guys. So firstly, it is very, very important to define who your audience is. Who is your customer? Who are you trying to connect with? Who is ideally for your business? And some of the targets that you can see here, some of the things, we've got demographics, which is really important, the location, professions, interests, and also the behaviors as well. So one of the things that you could do is create a persona, okay? Just a persona, just to understand who your customer is. And as we go through this presentation, we've got an example coming up, so stay tuned. Also, what type of channels are they using? Because again, there are different types of social media channels, from Facebook, Instagram, all of that type of stuff. But which one predominantly do you think your customers are going to be on? Okay, so this is where really you have to try and focus your time on. And we also want to try and post regularly as well and be as engaging. So again, it's trying to create a community online, get that feedback from your customers. If you're not sure really what to post, I think the best thing I can tell you is try to tell a story about your business online. Okay, any milestones, any new things that are going on within your business, shout out about it on social media. Again, you're going to get loads of kind of feedback. You might create comments and so on. Create that engagement. And I think right now some of the biggest things which are doing really well is the live Instagram live, Facebook live. All of these live options are really good because again, it gives us direct contact with our audience, and it's instant. Okay, so again, just some of the things that you could be looking at when it comes to social media marketing. Okay, but really, really important to have a persona, especially when we get started, because again, if you don't have a persona, you don't understand these things, especially about your customers, you're going to waste time and potentially you could waste money as well. So it's really important to do this and get it going. Now, other things in terms of success, you definitely want to have yourself a goal. Okay, so what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Also, as mentioned before, understanding your audience and make sure that you're updating constantly with all of the updates about your business. So again, anything which is going on about your business, it's not about us, it's about our business. Any new things, then we should be constantly communicating that to our audience and keeping that engagement quite high. We definitely want to make sure as well that we have some kind of anticipation to make sure that we keep our customers coming back to our social channels that we have here. So social media marketing, quite good. So let's move on to the next one, which is content marketing. Okay, now content marketing, very good. This is one of my favorite ones actually. And really, this is all about informing the audience. Okay, so again, this could be in various different forms, but it's all about creating content which is going to be beneficial to the customer. We do this pretty much most of the time, what I do anyway. I might go onto Google or maybe go onto YouTube and I'm looking for something, and I'll say, how do I and I'll probably come up with loads and loads of videos, right? Now with those videos, they predominantly are kind of linked to businesses, okay? And I can go ahead, click onto that, watch the video. If I really like it, then I might follow through to that company's website. So again, content marketing comes in these different forms. And just to show you, videos, okay? So again, as mentioned, they could be on YouTube, they could be on Facebook, okay? You could be making a video. It's all free. Okay, this is really about informing and engaging with our audience. Okay, so again, these are great videos, blogs, case studies, guides as well. Now again, these are just different forms of content marketing, which is definitely great to try and create more awareness, but also engage more with some of those customers that you don't know yet. Okay, so again, videos work out really well. If you're on social media, you've got all these different forms where it could come to Instagram, TV, which is also another thing where people are doing things. Blogs as well is a great thing, especially when it comes to your website. You definitely want to make sure that you've got some blogs on there which kind of keeps itself up to date, or a news section in some form, case studies and guides as mentioned. So again, these are really good, but they are free. This is free content in order to engage with our customers and audience, okay, and try to create more awareness. So again, this is my favorite part really of marketing, and there's loads and loads of things that are out there in terms of content marketing, and it really does work for your businesses. So some of the things just to mention. So again, how we can get started with this. Now again, it comes back down to that customer. Having a persona about the customer. What is it that is going to be really beneficial to your customer? Okay, so definitely this is something where we need to kind of just sit down and have some examples of the type of customer that we're trying to connect with. Okay, so maybe you can have different personas of these customers. Also try to create that customer journey as well. Okay, so again, when they've kind of, looked at this content, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to, again, click, maybe go onto the website and have a look at some of the products which are there? Or, again, it could be that you want to kind of have their email. Okay, make sure you seek permission first, but you might want to have some leads of email so you can inform and let them know of some of the new milestones within your business or new products. And also, it's a great way to generate some business too. So again, what do you want them to do? They can go ahead and kind of look at this, but is there a call to action? Is there something there which you want them to click onto in order to engage with your business? So you really, again, not just about making these videos and having this content on there, but once it's on, what do you want your customer to do? What is the journey that you want your customer to have? Okay, so again, really, really important just to let you guys know. But again, I would definitely say that content marketing is great, but also try and leverage it so it is beneficial for your business. Now, just some of the things to mention, you definitely want to facilitate some kind of process. If they do kind of like the content and they come over to your website, what is that process in terms of getting them to, make a sale or maybe hit up one of your leads? What is it that you want them to do? Also, if you're struggling, storytelling, I've mentioned this before, but try and tell that story is a good way to engage with audience. Create anticipation. We don't want to give it all away. We want them to kind of, again, be really engaged and watch that content and then come along to our site to find out a lot more. And also, you definitely want to make sure you're distributing that content pretty much everywhere. Again, you might find that your audience is not only just on YouTube, but they could be elsewhere. So how can we do that? And lastly, we definitely want to make sure that we're measuring this performance as well. So again, you definitely want to use something like analytics or maybe insights just to see how well that content is doing and ensure that it definitely is making an impact and you're getting a return of investment on there. So again, as we go through this presentation, we will talk about analytics and some of the insight tools which are free for you guys to use. Now, also email marketing is great. I'm going to give you guys a question again in the chat. Let us know. Have you been using email marketing for your business? Yes or no? Let us know in the chat. It'd be really good. Let's keep it interactive. But email marketing is great. It's a good way, again, if you just kind of want to make sure that you're keeping your audience or your customers engaged. It definitely creates customer loyalty as well. And it's cool. It's something that we can just kind of post, but we don't want to bombard, and we definitely want to make sure that whoever's on that email marketing list has signed it up for it. So let's just take a look at some of these options here when it comes to email marketing. You can definitely use some free platforms that are out there like MailChimp. Really good, great templates, can definitely host all of your lists of email people, but then also make sure that you're measuring, okay, to make sure that it is definitely doing the right thing. There's also other ones there, like Drip is another platform that potentially that you can use as well. This is also something where we definitely want to have a list of relevant contacts. So you might find that, again, just an idea, if you were doing a content marketing option, or maybe if you have yourself, leave us your email, let's say, on your website. This, again, is a great way to just hone and create that list that you can then send out your email marketing to, okay? And definitely you want to try and make it relevant and just try and know exactly what that customer wants. So again, it's always based on the audience and knowing exactly what is going to be beneficial to the customer. Okay, so really try that. And also with these marketing platforms, you can make them personal so that it has the person's name in that too. So when they receive the email, hi Ashton, so on. Okay, so again, some of these platforms are definitely going to do it, but we want to make it personal, definitely when it comes to email marketing, because everyone's getting loads of these email kind of marketing, and we want to make sure that our one stands out and is personal and is talking directly to our customers. Again, very, very cool. Now, just some of these things, just to mention to you guys, you definitely want to have segments of different groups. So perhaps you could have different types of customers, but you definitely want to make sure that you have these set up on here, which is again quite cool. And other things just to mention to you, you want to try and keep it really, really, really simple. Okay, definitely keep it really simple. Nothing too much, because again, there are so many emails that are out there. We have to definitely keep it good. And also measuring as well the campaign. So there will be options for analytics to kind of pick up your email campaigns on here. Again, very cool. Okay, so these are just some of the options, especially when it comes to email marketing. Now, just some of the things to mention to you as well. So we're going to go back to SEO. Okay, so we spoke about this, about keywords, and this is a free option. Okay, again, just to help promote our website when it comes to being on Google search. So another thing that you can see here is search engine marketing. Okay, and this is where we actually pay for it. So again, we're going to go back to the search option. If you have yourself a website and you are really trying to get your website up there, here are some of the options to verse. So we looked at SEO, so we looked at those keywords. As mentioned, it is free. We definitely want to optimize it so it works well. But also we've got SEM, so as mentioned, search engine marketing. Okay, so again, this is where we have a budget, a spend that we can put behind our marketing when it comes to search. Okay, so again, what we need to do is think about those keywords. All right, and one thing that you could use, just a little tool, again, as mentioned, is the keyword planner from Google. There's also something called SEM Rush as well. Okay, these different tools are going to help you just, use the best kind of keywords. Okay, so you're not wasting your money when it comes to Google search. And then also we want to make sure that we are on that front page, but what is the customer journey? Okay, what is the journey? When they click onto that ad, where do they go? Okay, so again, these are just some of the things to think about on here. Now, if you are looking to do some, search engine marketing, some of the things we're going to go into this a little bit deeper in our next presentation, but if you do want to do this, you'd firstly need to create a Google Ads account so you can sign in to Google Ads, select your campaign, and kind of just choose your keywords, find out the right one, use the keyword planner to help you out with your budget as well. And again, we really need to write a compelling ad. The messaging that we've got there has to be really, really important. So again, things that are going to attract that user. What is the benefit that is going to make that user go, okay, I want to click onto that? So again, we're going to explore a little bit more of this in the next presentation. But again, search engine marketing is one of those channels. Okay, so again, some of the options just to mention: keyword optimization. We can also boost the ads with extensions as well, which is a great thing. You can have these little call to action options, maybe the address or something else that someone can click onto, which is great. So these extensions are good. And lastly, I'm gonna say it again, analytics is a very important thing. You're spending money, right? So you need to know if it's working out or not, okay? And if it's bringing any traffic to your website. So using analytics, which we're going to explore as we go on, is very, very important. So what we're going to do now is just pause for some questions before we go on to our last section on a digital marketing plan. So let's see if there's any questions that have come up. Okay, so I've got one which has come through, and I've got for more. Yep, so I've been certified on Google Digital Marketing, but I want to focus more on social media marketing. How will I learn more on it? Good question. So again, if you want to know more about social media marketing, I think it's really just trying to focus on the channel, the type of social media marketing. So it could be, let's say, if you want to focus on Facebook, if you want to focus on Instagram. Now, these platforms, they do have their own sort of learning channels. So I will definitely go back and see if you can get that get that resource for you. Now also as well, you can go to the Grow with Google channel as well, and our website definitely has some resources for you there too. So again, I could recommend that on there too. So could you share more insight into a sitemap? So yes, definitely. So a sitemap, as mentioned, is just your different pages that you've got, also laying out kind of the route of your website. And it's really important, I guess, because if you again have a website and you're trying to get that kind of ranking well and index well on Google, you definitely want to make sure that it's clear, okay, that there's not too many pages on there. And again, it's really simple. And think about that journey, the customer journey. Okay, they got the homepage, then where do they go? Do they click onto your products? What is it that they do? And again, once you've built your site, you can then submit this over to, Google. And again, with that, we'll be able to make sure within Search Console that it's listed well and it's fine. So again, really cool like that. Right, is there an agency certification for Google AdWords? Yes, there is. If you do want to find out a little bit more and go a lot deeper, you can go to Skillshop, which is another program that we've got within Grow with Google. And this is where you can have more advanced kind of resources, and also there are certifications on there too, so please do take a look at that. Right, you mentioned earlier that you'll have a website on Google My Business, but not to forget there's also Google Sites. Could you explain the difference? Yes, so Google My Business is very simple. It's only one page for this website, okay, and that's it. You don't have anything more, just one site, okay, one page, that's it, okay. You don't need to worry about the domain or hosting because that's all sorted out for you. Now if you go to Google Sites, this is where you can have multiple pages, but then you'll also need to have a domain, so you need to buy that from someone, and that will be your www.com, okay. So again, you definitely want to make sure that again, if you want to have this site, you'll need to just spend a little bit more time with Google Sites. But Google My Business is only one page. You cannot have more than one page for Google Sites. Okay, great, cool, thank you. Keep those questions coming in, they're really, really good. Again, please get involved within the chat as well, okay? So again, what we're gonna do is just move to our last part of the presentation, guys. Ensure that you do have pen, paper waiting, because what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna make sure that we can give you guys the best strategy when it comes to digital marketing. So let's just take a little look into that. Now, a digital marketing plan, really, really important. And these are the steps. Okay, so again, have your pen and paper ready. So these are the 6 steps which we are going to explore right now. So first one, business goals and objectives, budgets, audience, deciding the different channels as well, which you can use because we've just taken a look at a menu, and also your activity, what do you plan to do, and how you can measure this too. Okay, so again, please make a note of this as we go on. So firstly, what we'll do is we'll take a look at the goals and objectives. So as a business, we definitely want to make sure that we have a goal, online goal that we're trying to reach, okay? And what is it that we are trying to achieve? So again, take your time, work out exactly what your goal and objective is online and what your whole presence is for being online. So we have a persona, okay, that's here. So again, we've got Mondi. And he is a hairdresser. Okay, now the thing is, just to show you here, this is just a simple example of a business owner. He's a hairdresser. He definitely wants to get more customers coming through his door, but again, he understands that, it could be a little bit tricky, but this is his main thing. He wants more customers to come through the door and also create more awareness, make people know exactly who and what his business does. So here are some examples of some online objectives. So just giving you an example, okay, from Monday, but here are some objectives just to show you guys. So it could be the fact that you want to increase more traffic, you want to have more sales, you want to have more awareness, you want more people to follow your business. Okay, so here are just some examples of what your objective could be, okay? And what you can also do is try to translate this into an online objective. So again, what you can see here is a business goal, physical business goal. So you can see here we want to, 1, sell more products. But what would that be translated into an online objective? It would be to increase website sales. Okay, you got it. Make more people aware you exist. Okay, and that would be to increase online reach and awareness. So again, these are just some of the points. But just to mention again, if you have a business goal, translate that to an online goal. What does that mean for you guys, okay, in your business? So this is really important, just to have that objective and set that up first. Okay, so that's the first point of our strategy. Now, the second half is to understand the budget and resources. Some of us may not have a budget. So let's go back to our persona, okay, Mundi. So he doesn't have a website right now. Okay, majority of us may not have a website. And also, we don't have the money really to invest in a web designer and to keep that going. So again, this is definitely something that we may need to just to consider having a website builder or something else, Google My Business or whatever, just to kind of use and create that presence. Okay, so again, if you don't have a website, it doesn't mean that you can't be marketing online. So we're going to explore this as we go on. Now, third would be to understand the audience. Okay, so again, I mentioned about the persona of your customer. Now, understanding your customer would also mean understanding exactly where are they online, where do they like to hang out, are they on social media, on Facebook, are they on LinkedIn, are they doing a Google search? So really we have to do some research and understand exactly what our customers are doing. Now again, you could use the insight tools on those social media platforms, or you can use analytics, which we'll talk a little bit more as we go on through the presentation. But really we need to understand, and going back to Mondi that we've got, again, he's already kind of worked this out. So he is targeting females in local area. Most valuable customers are females of 30 years and above, and they normally have children, work part-time, and use Facebook. So again, just for this one thing here, you can see that he's understood exactly who his demographic is, the age range, and also where they are online. Now try and translate this to your business. Okay, can you do this for your business? Can you make it really simple like this and create a very simple persona? Okay, so this is definitely going to help us out to understand what channels we need to be on and how we're going to communicate this message of our brand to the potential customer. Okay, so again, really good. Let's keep pushing. So marketing channels as well. As mentioned, there are many different ones. We've had a look at the majority. So let's just try and have a look at this. Now, we've got some examples that we've got on the side, but just to show you guys which channel would be right. So increasing online reach and awareness. As you can see, we've got some social media marketing, content marketing would be ideal for that type of objective. Let's say if we wanted to increase website sales. So you probably need to work a little bit more on the search engine optimization, but also perhaps an email marketing campaign, something like that to get more people to come back. Increasing traffic to websites. Again, we've got some here that we can put in, which is really cool. And again, if we wanted to, let's say, increase the customer loyalty, how can we do that? So again, it could be content marketing and email marketing as well. So a little promotion or something that we put in there, and also social media. So you can see, again, you can have all of these different types of channels. But again, it's working out which one's going to be ideal for your customer and your audience. Okay, so again, what channel are you going to be using? Another thing as well is to plan the activity. Okay, so again, what will you be doing in order to engage with your customer? So if we go back to Monday, okay, you can see here my online objectives is to reach more people in the local area and get more returning customers. I don't have a website yet as it's too expensive or too much to invest in right now. So again, how can digital help me? So as mentioned, Google My Business. Okay, it's completely free. So again, if you have a business location based, you can sign up to be on the business listing for Google, and it's free. And as mentioned, you do have an option to have a one-page free website. Okay, so that's one thing that he could do. Also, another thing is you could set up a Facebook page, a business page with Facebook, or maybe an Instagram page, but it's understanding predominantly where your audience is sitting. Now again, if you do set up a Facebook page, there are so many options that you can use there, but I definitely would say that this is a great template and it's free to use. You don't need to really know too much technical stuff to set up a Facebook business page. Okay, and again, if we've got a little bit of money, we might want to chuck some behind social media advertising as well. As you can see, Facebook advertising could really work out for him too. So even though we're doing everything right now, we've got our different channels, we've got everything which is going on, we know exactly our audience, we need to measure it, okay? We definitely need to measure and make sure that we can keep checking in so we're meeting our goal, our objective. So just to show you here, this is a difference between broad and smart objectives, right? So again, what do? So you can see here, firstly, let's say a broad objective would be to increase online sales. Yeah, that's great. But how do we measure that? Okay, and again, you can see here, just to translate that over to smart, would be to increase online sales by 20% within 3 months. That sounds a little bit more measurable. We keep checking in to make sure that we're reaching that 20% goal. Okay, so again, really cool. That last one there, to increase brand awareness. Okay, and again, what we could do is just set a 40% in terms of growth on our Facebook channel. Okay, so again, this could be something that we just keep checking in, making sure that we're looking at the insights and the analytics in order to make sure that we are meeting the goals that we've got here. So again, really cool, just to show you some of the things, but we need to be measuring. Okay, there's no point doing all of this and we are not checking in with the milestones that we've placed in for our goals. Okay, so again, just putting a percentage next to how much you want to increase in terms of your objective will definitely help you out. So again, if we go back to our hairdresser Monday, again, you can see here he doesn't have that website, but let's take it all together and work out what his digital marketing plan could be. Okay, so again, the business goal, he definitely knows what it is. He wants to get more people to come through to his hairdressing salon. So that's the main thing. So how does he do that? He understands the audience. Okay, so he knows exactly who it is, as you can see here, 39 to 45 females. Also, he understands the channel, potentially how he could get there. So definitely those, potential customers will go onto Google search and try to find, that website and try to get that going. So again, SEO is really important for local listings for Google My Business, but then also Facebook business page, again, because he doesn't have a lot of money. So again, what could he do to create that presence? The activity, as you can see, be visible on Google My Business, and also create a website there, but also use Facebook advertising as well. Just a little bit of money just to try and promote his business locally when it comes to online. And again, he knows his objective, what he's trying to do. So he's trying to increase the reach and increase returning customers. And you can see here the objective really that he's trying to get done is 50% people actually coming to like his page, okay, when it comes onto Facebook. So we're creating the awareness, and then also to increase the bookings from customers, as you can see here, by 20% in the next quarter. Now that sounds really good. What I definitely say to you guys is use this as a template, okay, and translate this to your business as a digital marketing plan. So again, just to go back to the 6 steps. So the first one was business goal and objective. What is it that you're trying to achieve? How much money do you have? Maybe you don't, but it doesn't mean that you can't do anything, okay? Because there's definitely 3 things that are out there. The type of audience that you're trying to connect with. Who is your customer and where are they online? What type of channel are they using, okay? Also, that will help you decide what channel that you need to predominantly be stuck on. And again, what is your activity that you're going to be doing once you have the right channel? Could be that you need to build a website, or maybe just make sure that you're posting regularly. And then what is it that you're trying to measure, okay? And keep checking in. So again, have a time frame for your campaign. This is probably going to be, let's say, 3 months or so. And what is it that you want to see at the end of that time period? Okay, so again, really cool, great. So what we're going to do is just pause for some questions before we go ahead and end this presentation. But again, I'm sure we've got 1 or 2 that is here. Right, let's see. So, all right, cool. So last question, I've got one here. So again, I would like to understand the importance of boosting a page. Thank you. So really what this is, when you click onto boost, especially on social media, is actually just trying to, again, try to get your page in front of your audience, like more so than the free option. So again, you might find that those boosted pages, especially on Facebook and so on, will just kind of show up. Now, the thing is, you can do this, but it is kind of doing it like automatically. And what I'd probably say is you want to go on to something like the Facebook Business Manager to really put in the criteria of your audience and target, because the main thing here is that we're trying to target the right audience member. Okay, so again, thank you for your questions. I hope this is definitely helping you guys. So what we're going to do now is just pause right now, because the next presentation is going to happen at 1:05, and that's where we're going to take a deeper look into digital advertising. Okay, so again, if you're maybe thinking, okay, well, I need to maybe put some marketing spend or some money spend behind an advertising campaign, we're just going to explore this a little bit more. So again, if you can come back, go and get yourself a nice drink, come back, and we've got another session lined up for you guys, and that is also going to be followed up by analytics as well. All right, so again, we'll see you shortly in the next few minutes. 1:05 will be the next presentation. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Good to have you guys back again. If you're just joining us, we have literally just gone through kind of like a strategy for digital marketing, which was the previous one. But now we're going to take a look at getting started with digital advertising. Okay, so again, this is really a great session. Have yourself pen and paper ready. If you're joining us, my name's Ashton. I will be your trainer for today within the Grow with Google program. Again, just to let you guys know, we do have our moderators as well. So Elizabeth and God knows who are just in the chat. So please feel free to get really interactive. I noticed that we did have one or two questions maybe that I didn't mention. So there was one which caught my attention, which was basically how do you know what channel is ideal and the best one kind of for your business, especially being online. And what I will definitely say is those analytic tools are going to help you just to understand predominantly where that is all coming from. So again, what I'll do, excuse me, is I'll ensure that we do go through some of those points as analytics is coming up. So stay tuned, do not go anywhere. Great to have you guys back. Again, please keep it really interactive on here. And again, let's just try and move through the presentation because we've still got a lot of things to cover. So let's take a look firstly at getting started with digital advertising. Okay, so here are the modules that we're going to cover. So firstly, understanding search advertising, which we've kind of gone through, but we're going to go into a little bit deeper. Also leveraging when it comes to display advertising. Okay, and then lastly also learning about social advertising. So really this is just taking a little look deeper into kind of if you want to pay and you have a marketing spend and you want to use these channels in order to boost and promote. Okay, so again, this is what we will be covering on this module. Okay, so let's firstly start off with search advertising. Now, I mentioned before previously that there is a way that we could pay to have our ads show up within Google search and SEM, search engine marketing. Okay, so again, this not only works for Google, but if you wanted to try other channels like Bing and so on, they also have their own kind of channels when it comes to search advertising. So just a quick recap here, just to show you kind of a results page and what we're used to seeing here. So again, very easy, but at the top, as mentioned, this is the search query. So this is exactly where our customers are going to go in, they're going to type in exactly what they're looking for within search, and it's then going to bring up the relevant results. Okay, so these are, keywords that we're using, really, a customer would use in order to help them try to get to that website. So again, we're going to go through this a little bit more as we go through the presentation. Also, just underneath that, we mentioned this before, but again, the ad section. So this is where, again, some of us might go, okay, well, I'm going to click onto this ad. It's right at the top of results. Here's a question for you guys. When you do a search result, especially on Google, do you tend to click on the ad or do you scroll down and go to organic? Let us know in the chat if you're ad person or you like to go down to organic. Okay, it'd be really good just to work out exactly what you guys tend to do when we're online. All right, so again, these are the different sections. Also, we're missing one other part which is not here, and that's the knowledge card that would show up on the right. So let's say whenever we search for a business, on the right hand side we'll just get a little kind of square that will show up, and that knowledge card is the local business listing. That's actually given us all of the detail for that business. So anyone who's also maybe looking at Google My Business, it's also a great thing, and it's something we're not showing here in this screenshot here, but again, something to think about with that. So we have an example that we're going to use. Yusuf actually has an Italian restaurant in Nairobi, also in Kenya as well. And what's cool is that Yusuf is also kind of looking to promote his business, okay? And what is the best ways that he can do it? Now, again, he just needs to help with digital advertising. He does have a website, but he just needs to try and get more people through the door. All right, so how could he do this? So again, when we're looking at search engine marketing, it's a process. It's really just trying to understand, firstly, our customers and who they are. We're going to break this down. Also find the right keywords which is going to connect with that search query that our customers are putting into search. Creating a best copy, right? That language has to be really appealing and engaging to get to our audience. And then what we'll do is we'll just take a look at the ways that we can create that account on Google Ads, okay, and make sure that we can pull it all together and do this. So again, really cool. Let's run through these different sections. Firstly, starting with an understanding of your customers. So we mentioned this before, but I would definitely say that a persona of a customer will help, or some of the customers that you have, and just really understanding exactly what you reckon they will be doing. What is their behavior when they go online? What is it that they're going to put in search in order to bring up your product or bring up your website? So let's break this down. So firstly, these are just some of the things, and we're going to try and relate it back to the pizzeria. Use this Italian pizzeria. So what you can see here is, firstly, who is the audience? Really important for him. Okay, so again, he's kind of, just for this example, listed different examples on this. So students, it could be busy professionals who just want that convenience, but also pizza lovers as well. So he's kind of identified the 3 potential target audiences. Try and put this to your business. Who do you reckon you have in terms of your audience, the potential target audiences for your business? So try and relate this back. And again, if you can think of 3, maybe write this down on a bit of paper so you can identify who you reckon your type of audience is. Now, secondly, you can see here, where are they based? Okay, because again, search is also based on, you know, location or the rest of it. So you might find that, again, there could be potential neighboring areas or so on where customers, especially if you're local, will be searching. Okay, so again, they could put in, you know, pizzeria Mombasa or something like that, right? So again, they're going to kind of come up with all of those results based on that location. So definitely something to think about. And lastly, what's important to them? Okay, so again, we can just break this down, try and translate this back to your business, okay, and just be like, what is important to them? Okay, so what is it that really appeals to your customer? What is the thing that they're really looking for and is going to make them engage with your advertising? And again, it could be, going back to the pizzeria, a variety of toppings. It could be fast delivery, because that's definitely something, but then also authentic ingredients too. Okay, so again, what are those key points or key elements that you think your customer is going to benefit from your product? Okay, so again, just something to think about as we try to understand the best ways we can kind of use the keywords. Now, secondly, it would be to take a look at the keyword plan. Let's do some keyword research. We definitely need to make sure that we're planting the best keywords in to make sure that our customers are connecting. And again, just to go over it again, but keywords are words or phrases that are used to match your ads with the terms that people are searching for. Okay, so when they go into Google, they will be using phrases. They will be using those keywords in order to bring up the relevant search. So what we're going to do here is just have a little look at some of the combinations when it comes to keywords, what potentially we could do, for example, of use this Italian pizza. Now, as you can see, the first really simple, broad keyword that we could use could be pizza. Very broad. Okay, it's going to bring up so many different things. Fast food, takeaway. So you can imagine, as a customer, me going into Google and just typing in pizza, I'm probably going to go ahead and put some more things in there. Okay, so again, we can try and combine or put these into combinations even and make sure that these work. So again, it could be pizza Lagos. Okay, and again, different locations, which again, we're going to use, because if we're thinking about our customer, again, if they're going to have a look for a pizza, they might go, okay, well, I need pizza in my location. So let's try and relate this again back to your business. Think about your customer and what they could be putting into search. What combination of keywords could they be using? Now, another thing here is a combination of keywords, and it's kind of like long tail keywords as well that you can use. So these are phrases perhaps that your customer is going to go ahead and put in. So again, there are different ones, fast food Lagos, there's all these different ones that you can use again, but try and think about that for your business and your customer, what combinations they potentially could put in, and have a list of them. Just take some time and have a list of these different ones. And again, this is definitely going to be beneficial for when you submit, and let's say you're doing your keyword for your website, but perhaps if you're looking to pay for it and do SEM, this is also going to be beneficial to you when you go there. Now, again, you could use different kind of tools to help you out with this. The keyword planner, another one which you could use. And SEM Rush as well is really good to help you kind of generate those combinations. So again, cool, like that. Now, what we also want to try and do here is trying to match, okay, the different businesses, okay, so the keywords that we've got here. Now, again, we've got a mobile hairdresser in Lakey, and as you can see, we've got different combinations which you could have. Hairdressers, barbers, mobile salon, all of these different ones, they work, okay, and again, it's something that our customers could go ahead and put that in. We've also got a phone repair shop in Durban as well, and as you can see, these are just some of the combinations that that customer potentially could put into Google. Phone repair, where can I fix my phone, and so on and so on. So again, try and think about those different combinations when it comes to your own business, or potentially how a customer will go in and they'll put into the search query. Okay, cupcake shop in Nairobi. Okay, so again, it could be red velvet cupcake Nairobi. Again, what would your customer put in especially for this? It could be the best cupcakes in Nairobi. Okay, so again, this is just a phrase, but what we could do again is make sure that we have that on our website somewhere for SEO. Okay, so it could be the fact that we've put that in the body of text, but it has to be somewhere within it so it can be indexed, and again, whenever someone puts that into search, it then pops up. But again, this is definitely something that if we wanted to do SEM, that we can put that phrase or combination of keywords into our campaign in order for that ad to pop up when someone puts that into search. Okay, and the last one here, we've got an online fancy dress shop. Okay, so again, there's all these different ones that we can use, but these are just giving you different combinations. And guys, just really think about what your customer is going to be putting into search. What are those keywords that they will be using? And again, if you're not too sure, try it out yourself. You might find that if you go ahead and try and pose to be that customer, how difficult is it for your business to come up in search? Okay, and that could also determine many different things, but also maybe the keywords are not necessarily right in order to bring it up. Okay, so again, this definitely will be one of the things to take a look at for the keyword research. So here's another thing as well. So third, if we wanted to create a engaging search ad, okay, so again, this is more looking at if you're trying to just have a little bit of marketing spend, maybe you've got a little bit of money and you want to make sure that you show up within Google ads in terms of the search, so the ad section with the results. If you want to show up there, then how can you do that? Okay, so let's have a look at how we can create an engaging ad on this. So firstly, what you'd need to do, this is just an example, but you'd have to set up, especially for Yusuf, he would have gone to Google Ads and he would have created an account, okay? And as you go through it, what it's going to do is ask you a combination of different questions, and one of them will be firstly keywords. Okay, so again, Yusuf probably would have used the keyword planner in order to make sure that he's got a nice combination of keywords that he can place in here. So again, we'll use a bidding system, okay, for certain keywords. So you might find that bidding system, if you go for a really broad one like pizza, it will probably cost you a bit of money, and it just basically means that when someone clicks onto that link, you're going to get charged. Okay, and again, you can see here just at the bottom we've got like Domino's pizza deals, and that basically is the, now if I could do this, I'll just quickly show you guys, but that is basically here where you can see this section. Okay, so again, this is what the finalized ad would look like, right? So again, really cool, but just at the top here, it's just asking a few questions which has to be really relevant. But firstly, you can see it's for asking us for the URL, as you can see at the top there, but also the headline has to be really important. Okay, so the headline is that little section that you can see just at the top there, which is Domino's Pizza. That is going to be the headline, so we have to make sure that that is really engaging enough to capture that customer. Imagine they're in search, there is loads and loads of these different ads and also organic results too, so we definitely need to make sure that that is clear. Okay, and again, these are just some of the things to mention, but you haven't got a lot of space to write this ad, okay, just so for you guys to know. So again, you might find that you really need to get to the benefit of the user, okay, something which is going to be engaging and catch them. Think about what they're looking for at that time, and what's going to jump out at them and go, you know what, I'm going to click onto this and go directly to the website. Now, another thing just to mention as well is that when you do create an ad, for instance, on Google Ads, one of the things is to think about is the customer journey. Okay, so really think about, okay, they've clicked onto this ad, where do they go? Okay, and one thing that a lot of businesses will do is they'll have a landing page. Okay, so landing page is, you know, again, it's part of the website, but it's more like a pitch, a sales pitch kind of page. And most of us have done this. We've probably gone on ahead and clicked onto these ads, and then we're taken away to a landing page, which helps us consider whether we want to kind of, you know, buy a product or maybe leave our email. So again, these are just some of the things just to think about, okay, is the customer journey and the flow, okay, of it all. So again, really interesting, but just a point to mention. Now, some of the headlines that could help out, okay, so then this is just a quick thing just to show you. So people who value convenience. Now, again, we're going to relate this back to Yosef's pizzeria, okay. So here are just some of the different customers: people who value variety, okay, and also people who value an authentic experience. So these are, you know, some of the customers. This is exactly what they're looking for. What type of headlines are going to work well for them? Okay, so let's just have a little example here. Now, again, for people who value convenience, one of those headlines that show up in the ads could be scheduled delivery available and fast 15-minute delivery straight away. If we see that in Google, especially if we're looking for a pizza straight away and we see that in the ad section, I'm going to click onto that because that text, that headline is so appealing to what I'm looking for. So again, very interesting, but you can see here just how that works for that type of customer. Also, another one here, we've got 17 different toppings available, a different deal every day. So again, to that customer who's looking for variety, how can we appeal to them with this headline? Again, very simple, as you can see there as an example. And the last one that you can see, people who value an authentic experience. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and click onto that. Okay, and you can see here authentic Napoleon pizza and also live Afrobeat music. Hey, so I find that I would probably be going to that one. That's going to appeal to me because the Afrobeat music that's there. So again, trying to understand what is going to appeal to that customer. So you could break it into different groups and just think about, okay, which ad is going to work the best way for the headline. Okay, so this is all part of search engine marketing. And let's say you've done your headline, you've identified your customer. So what would be the next thing? And it would be to try and create this ad that we put into Google. How can we do this? Okay, so what's the process? Let's walk you through it. So again, what you need to do is log into Google Ads. Okay, so just a little tip here. Anyone who is using G Suite, okay, sometimes at Google, what you tend to do is we'll give you some vouchers. Okay, so you might find that you may have some ads vouchers. Sometimes I get them. Okay, and this is a good way to kind of test out your campaign, or maybe if you've never used it before, try this out. So anyone who's using G Suite, which is our more enterprise kind of suite of applications, you can just have a look because sometimes there is some free kind of vouchers that we give you. So again, what you do is you can go into Google Ads, okay, which is really easy. So again, our moderators will put that in there. So again, you can ensure that we've got the link. So again, yeah, Google Ads. And then from there, once you've signed in and you've created your account, you can see we've got an option to select to create a brand new campaign. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing here. We're creating a new campaign, which is then going to go onto search. So again, we can navigate to that, very simple. And then after that, we want to pick what type of campaign it is, because not only does Google Ads do search campaigns, but it also does display as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that afterwards. Okay, so again, very interesting. But just so you guys know, if you're going to create an ad that you want to appear on Google search, okay, that's ad section at the top. This is exactly what we have to do. So moving on from that, we also want to make sure that we've got the right location. So it's really important to understand the location of where our customers are, okay? And potentially, again, if they're in that location, it's going to pop up within those ad options, okay? So again, this is really important. Keywords. So this again is really, really important. If we're going ahead to do the keywords and put that in, this is where we just really need to do that research. We need to think about, okay, these keywords are right. Because again, when we're doing this, this is also going to be attacking our budget really. This is something where we're going to have to pay for it, so we're going to need to start a bidding process, okay, which basically means that if we go for broad keywords, it's going to cost us a bit of money every time someone clicks onto it. So again, this is really important, just to understand the keyword combinations. It's not something that you need to have something really broad, but you definitely want to make sure that you have a different combination of keywords. You can also have negative keywords as well. So again, if there's, you know, something where someone's going to type it in and you don't want your result to come up, then you can also place that in there too. So there are different ways, but the keyword research is very important. And as mentioned, SEMrush and also the Google Keyword Planner is also a good thing to use as well. And Ubersuggest is another one that you can use too, giving you quite a few different ones. So once you've done all of that and you've confirmed your keywords, you can see here you can also now go ahead and create your ad. Now the great thing about this, and I'll just boost this so you guys can see it. Now you can see here we've got all of the options like the headline, which is really important, headline 2, then a little description that shows up there as well. But this is important, and also the landing page, right? So this is when someone clicks onto that ad, this is exactly where they're going to go. So we need to think about the funnel, the customer journey. Where are they going once they click onto the ad, okay? It can't just be your home page, because they'll think, oh, hold on a minute, I've just clicked for some pizza and I need to search, and you'll probably lose that customer. And then as you can see underneath, it gives you an example of what it looks like as an ad in search for desktop and also mobile view as well, okay? So again, these are really, really good. Also, you want to take a look at the ad extensions too, because you can add those on. As you can see, there is one here with the location, and all of these are free, the ad extensions. We don't pay for them. So again, really cool, very, very easy. What we're going to do is just pause for some questions right now. Let's see what we have going on. Our moderators are doing a great job, guys. Thank you. Let's see what we have going on in the next half. So good day. I would like to know, what does a country have to do to be part of YouTube partner program? What I would definitely say is it's not something that we are gonna kind of explore in this presentation, but again, if you're really interested, what I would say is if you can go to info@digitalskillsafrica.com, and they'll have again maybe some resources there to help you out for that one. Let's see if there are any questions. Everyone's like, I think, doing quite well with stuff, so I wonder if there's any much questions on here. No, it seems like everyone seems to be fine. We're not getting a lot. Well, it's good. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. We are going to be pausing again for questions, so it would be nice to again get you guys interacting. But okay, if there's no questions, then we're good. Let's keep moving on. All right, guys. Well, the next thing that we're going to explore within the presentation is display advertising. Okay, so this is another form of digital advertising which we pay for, okay, to have on there. So we probably have seen digital advertising pretty much, or display advertising pretty much everywhere. Okay, we can go onto websites and we will see it there. We can go into apps, we'll see the little banners there. So there's all different ways that they kind of appear, especially when we're going online. And just to show you, these are display ads. Okay, here are some examples of some display ads that we have. Okay, so again, these will show up on blogs. They could be video ads, they could be little animations as well, but many big businesses and so on, they will use these. Okay, so when we think of display ads, this is some examples of how they are, okay, and what they look like. Now again, it's great to have, okay, because it can go, it's like a billboard really, okay, on a relevant website, a website which is, you know, connected to the product that you're trying to sell. Okay, so they have some ad space. So if you have a website, you know, you could use something like Google AdSense, which basically is advertising space, okay, which you have on your website. And then basically, again, me as a business owner, I can just go ahead and put my kind of banner for my business on there. Again, things to think about is the customer journey, because again, when they click onto the ad, what do? Also, is there a call to action? Is there something that you want them to do when they click onto it? Okay, so again, it could be buy now, like you can see here with NGN. Okay, that is a great display. So let's keep pushing on to this. So how is display advertising different from search advertising? Okay, so this is where we're just gonna go through the two differences, okay, between these. So let's have a look. So search versus display advertising. Let's break this down. So we have taken a little bit of a deeper look into search advertising. So it's focused around matching the ads to the user query. So again, it's using the search engine in order to bring the relevant web page to them, and also the most relevant when primary objective is to generate more sales. Okay, as you can see there. So again, very simple. That those two work well. But when we're looking at display advertising, okay, focused around serving ads around different websites. As mentioned, these could be blogs, local websites, anything like that. They will have that little advertising space, and we could be advertising there. But the main objective really is for brand awareness and to try to get more traffic to come to our site. So again, think of it like that billboard, you know, that we see on the roadside. That is basically what display advertising is. So again, great awareness might get that customer to go, oh, actually, I really like that. I'm going to go onto your website and find out exactly what your brand does. So again, has to be quite engaging. So let's just go through a process. So if you guys were maybe considering maybe to try out a display advertising campaign, what are the steps? So we're going to break these down. So understanding your customer, most important thing, as I keep talking about. Also placement ideas, create an ad as well, and let's put it all together. Okay, so let's go through this process here. Now, firstly, as we always talk about, it is about understanding your customer. Okay, what does your customer like to do in terms of what websites do they like to go to? Okay, and frequent. And where do you reckon you would have the best kind of impressions if you know, were to use that kind of website as your space for advertising? So again, if you are kind of thinking about your audience, again, there are three ways. We're going to go back to the Yusuf's Pizzeria. So again, he's kind of worked it out. Again, it's students, it's busy professionals, and also pizza lovers as well. Okay, so he's really worked that out. Again, try to do this for your business. Try and have that persona for your business. Okay, so again, really important. And also understanding where are they, okay, because there's probably going to be some local websites and also kind of directories and so on perhaps that they want to go to, but also some blogs as well, which could be maybe based in the area or country that you're in. So again, it's to name these places. So if we think about it, some examples could be student websites, okay, because again, students is one of the customers. Also local food directory websites as well. So again, professionals might be going on this. Food blogs, very good place to be advertising. So blogs is also a good place. So there could be a blog which has a very good kind of audience scope, and it will be great for us to be on this. Again, try and think about these questions if you're looking to do display advertisements through Google. So what about the ideas, okay, in terms of where we're going to place the ads? Like, what can we do to make sure that our display ad goes on the best kind of website, okay, which is relevant to our brand and our business? So let's take a look at that now. As you can see here, you would need to go to Google Ads, okay, and there is the display planner, okay, and this is great because it's going to help you kind of understand the best websites, okay, the best relevant websites for your brand. So it's going to ask you a couple of questions, and then you're going to kind of be presented with a list of all of these different placement ideas on here. Now again, this is just one of the things when you go to Google Ads, when you select a campaign, it's going to ask you whether you want to do a search campaign or a display campaign. Okay, so this is for display and is more a visual kind of approach instead of just text that we have on there. Now, if we are going to create this billboard, it has to be super engaging and it has to be very creative. So not only do we need to think about the words that we're putting into it, but we also need to think about what image is going to resonate and really capture that user. Imagine we're going to be on a website where there's loads and loads of stuff, loads of information, but we need to try and stand out. So again, some of these are really good just to mention to you guys. Now, you definitely want to make it visually appealing. And one of the things that I would definitely say to you guys is if you are going to do this, that you might need to seek some royalty-free images, okay, that you can use to make your ad. So you're definitely going to place some images in there. And how could you do this? Now, again, one of the things that you might want to try to do is look for a website called Unsplash. Okay, Unsplash. Very good, because it's got loads of royalty-free images, perhaps, that you can use for your ads. Okay, especially if you're going to have like visual. When I do that, I just mean like a visual banner. But you can use that as your ad, which is really cool. And again, this has to be visually appealing to your audience. Imagine loads of stuff online, loads of stuff on that web page, but we need to be showcasing ourselves. Now, also you can, have videos, little GIFs as well that you can use too. So again, we need to make it stand out. Now that we've thought about, okay, all of this stuff, the audience, the relevant website, all of that stuff. Now, how do we put this all together? And as mentioned, we're going to head on up to Google Ads. Okay, so again, you can go to this page, make sure that you have your account set up. And again, it's going to ask you what type of campaign that you want to go for. Okay, so again, just showing you this on here. This is really simple, but again, you can see we've got the display option. Okay, so we're not doing search. So let's see, there we go. So we've got search, which we're not going to do for this one, but we're going to do display. And again, you'll just need to kind of work out exactly what the objective is, okay, that you're trying to do with this campaign. And then from here, this is where you've got specific targeting options. Again, this is where you probably want to know the area, okay, the location exactly, and where you want it to go. So that's really important. And then after that, what it's going to then try to do is try to find those relevant web pages which are offering ad space. They've got that space there, so relevant pages. And again, as you can see with this, just on this side, this definitely gives you the option to have a look at all of those different kind of pages. Now again, this is all based on the example of the pizzeria from Yusuf. So again, we've got all these different ones, also some ideas there too. So once that's all done, then you have to put your ad together. Okay, so again, that first thing, what is the landing page? Once they click onto the ad, where do you want them to go? Okay, so again, we really need to think about that and what that page looks like, because when they click on the ad, we're spending money here. Okay, it's going to cost us some money. We definitely need to make sure we get a return of investment, so we need to make sure that this is working. And then as you can see, we've got different images that we can place on there, perhaps if there's a video as well that we can add, and make sure that the headline is very strong. Okay, well, once we put this all together, this is potentially what it could look like, okay, as an ad that shows up. So pizza in Nairobi, and as you can see here, we've got again, we could put in a little description and then hit that button for the call to action. So when they hit that button, they're then going to go to the page, the landing page, to consider whether to get that product or not. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But what we're going to do now is just move on to some questions that you guys might have. So I wonder if this has sparked up any questions on here. Okay, so let's have a little look and see if there's anything. I'm not sure if there is. I think we're actually doing quite well. Okay, how are landing pages created? Okay, good point. So if you're looking to do a landing page, what this is really is again, just having a page connected to your website. Is not necessarily on the navigation. So like when you go to a website, you've got the navigation where you've got home, about, products. No, it's not going to be there. It's basically just going to be its own separate kind of page, which then someone can come along to. And again, you want to make sure that that page is really selling the product and is also talking the language that is going to engage that customer to come on. You've got to think they've come from an ad. Okay, they've clicked onto that ad and this is the next thing they see. What is it that you want them to do? Is it for brand awareness? Maybe as a brand new product? Or do you want to get in touch with them and create more leads? Okay, so again, this is really interesting, but just something to think about. So again, if there are any other questions, let's keep it going, but I don't see any. So again, our moderators must be doing a great job. I'm sure you guys are, because I'm not seeing it. Okay, actually, I've got one or two. Please, can you deliver teaching on G Suite? Oh, okay, if you're interested in G Suite, I believe there is, especially with the Grow with Google in Africa, there is a video on this. So please take a look at that if you can. I'm on Google Ads, but I can't see the display option. Okay, again, what I'd probably say is if you can't see the display option, what you might have to do is just check your account. And there is the Google Ads business account also, or the team that can help you with that. So I would raise a ticket, support.google.com, and just raise the ticket. And again, when you go to that page, it's just going to ask you a couple of questions, and you definitely want to raise that up because that shouldn't be happening on that. Okay, so cool, great. Well, I've probably seen one or two of these, so let's keep moving on because we do have another part of our presentation to go in. But again, guys, thank you. It seems to be really busy in the chat. Everyone's like doing stuff on here, which is great. So let's keep pushing on. Okay, so next what we're going to take a look at is social paid advertising. So anyone who's using to use social media, and potentially you have like an ad spend, okay, you've got a bit of a budget that perhaps that you can use. So again, let's explore this. Now there are all different channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn. Yeah, there's even TikTok as well, because TikTok has a business section too. So again, these are very, very interesting platforms. They all work different ways, so we definitely need to understand that if we do one thing on one, it's going to be different on another, and also the audience is slightly different as well on these platforms. Okay, so it really is to identify what these are. Now what I will say is, if you're firstly getting started with doing the social media advertising, start organically. You really have to understand your customer first. Okay, it's really important that you understand your customer first and understand how you can engage and communicate with them. There has been, well, this was like many years ago when I started to do like a Facebook ad campaign. I put a bit of money behind it and it went like that and I didn't get a return at all. I didn't get anyone coming back to my site or anything or buying products. Because I didn't really understand the platform, but I also didn't understand the audience as well. Okay, so you really have to do your research first. And I always say, do it organically first. That's really, really important to do. Okay, so I will recommend that. So why should you use social advertising? Okay, now again, there is a lot of customers, audience members that are using these platforms to share their social lives and exactly what they're doing. And again, it works really well, especially let's say on Instagram. For me anyway, I've seen loads of different posts that are popping up, and again, they're just mixed in with the other posts from my family and friends, and they literally just look appealing. So you go ahead and tap onto them and they're great, and then you go off to the landing page. But again, because there's so many different people out there using social media, it's great. You can also see the insights as well. So again, if you do an ad, you definitely want to make sure that you're seeing that it's definitely getting to your audience, and how well is the reach as well on this. So again, this is going to break this down for you. But again, you definitely want to start to think about the type of audience that you're trying to connect with. Okay, because there are different audiences using different parts of social media. So which one is going to work out the best for you? So let's take a look at this. So what are the differences between organic and paid social media? We're going to explore this. So as I was mentioning before, if you're doing this organically, it's the best place to start off. Please do not go in to start paying for some of these ads when maybe you haven't done the research, you're not sure of your audience, and you're also not sure of the platform, the actual platform that you should be on in terms of marketing. So as you can see here, when we look at the organic social media option, it is free. It is free, but it's where you may need to do some research in terms of the type of hashtags that you might be using, or again, the type of imagery or language that you're using in terms of connect. Okay, different ways that you can engage. All right, but also again, if you're doing this organically, make sure you set up a business account. Okay, business account on that social platform. All of them do it, and they're all free. You don't need to worry about that. And then also how you can start to build up that list of people, that community of people or audience that will come to your brand. Now, if you're going to do this, some of the things that you can do, especially with organic, is you might be able to do some polls, like ask questions, create some kind of engagement, get people talking. That works out really, really well. If you're looking maybe to work out the best hashtags and so on, you can follow hashtags. You can see how well they're doing. But there are different kind of tools that you can use. One of them is called Right Tag that you can use, and this is really good to just understand what type of hashtags to use. Now, once you've kind of got, let's say, a couple of posts on your business page, and I'm talking about a few of these, you definitely want to make sure that you understand your audience and so on before you then go on to the paid option. Now, the paid options work really well. What I will definitely say is explore the options in terms of where you're targeting, the targeting options for these ads. Okay, it's great that you can have the boost option when it comes to like Facebook or Instagram, but again, you probably want to go to the actual business manager, so like Facebook business manager, to make sure that you can go ahead and get to the right type of demographics of your audience. If you boost, sometimes it's just doing it for you. It's not necessarily gonna 100% be optimized to get to your audience. Okay, so again, these are just some of the things to mention, but we're gonna explore this a little more, the differences. And as you can see here, this is two examples of an Adidas kind of post that we've got. So we've got the organic one and we've also got the paid one. Okay, now you guys might be able to work it out, okay, and see what the differences is when it comes to the paid one. And there's one big thing that just works out so well when we're doing this. And just to show you, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or if you worked it out already, but I have. I can blatantly see it. But you can see here that if I just go in, and you can see basically we do have all of this stuff for the organic one. It's great. We've got a whole list of hashtags that are showing up in order to help us, which is really, really cool. But when we look at the paid option, okay, if you're doing a paid for advertisement on social media, then what you'll see here, if we just go in, so it's all looking great, but if I just go to the bottom here, can you see that we've got shop now? That's the call to action. Imagine the person will go ahead and they'll tap onto that, and they'll go straight away to the landing page, okay, to then consider whether to be part of buying something or leave an email address or anything like that. So that's the differences, and you're normally going to find those when it comes to doing this again on social media. So those call to action buttons work out really, really, really well. There's other things as well that you'll see, but I think the less steps that you can give your customer, they're just going to go straight away to the product. That's what you want them to do. You don't want them to, go to your main page on social media, then they have to find the URL, go to your website, and then where do they go from there? Okay, so again, we're losing people if there are too many steps, and this is where the paid for option works really well. Plus being able to target specifically the audience that we need. Okay, so again, really cool, but just to bring this up to you guys. Okay, where should I advertise? Okay, good point. Okay, where should you be advertising? So this is where we're going to just explore some of these options to choose where we can advertise. Now again, if you're doing social media advertisement, you definitely want to do your research as mentioned before, but you want to have an objective. As we kind of looked at the strategy before, you definitely need to know the audience that you're trying to connect with and where they like to go on social media. Are they a Facebook person? Are they, might be on LinkedIn? What is it that they're kind of into? Also creating an ad and setting a budget. Okay, so you definitely want to just have a little budget and making sure that we measure it. Okay, so again, some of the things that we spoke about before was making sure that we can measure, okay, when we're looking at that digital marketing strategy that we have. So again, this is really interesting, but I would say that most of those social channels, in fact, all of them will have insights, okay? And this is where you can take a look at the data just to see what's going on your page, the type of engagement that you're getting. And as you can see here, if I just go in to this engagement, you can see this is a Facebook engagement kind of display, and it's showing me here kind of the different types of people that have been coming over to my page, including the demographics of men and women, also relationship status, education level. It's really, really, really interesting how you can target specific types of people, because again, this information is already sitting on their profiles. So again, this is all going to be pulled in to help target and get to that potential customer. So another thing as well is you could take a look at what your competitors are doing too. Don't copy, but just have a look at what they're doing, especially for the type of messaging, type of images. Have a look at those other businesses that are in the same field as you, okay, and what is it that they're doing. And lastly, the other thing as well is you definitely want to track, okay, exactly what's going on. So the next presentation, we are going to just do a fundamental view of analytics. But I would definitely say that if you are going to be paying for social media and you have a website, you definitely want to have analytics working on that website, okay? And that's basically going to show you in this screenshot, we've got acquisitions, right? And what's really good about this, and just to show you again, with the acquisitions, this would be basically a screenshot from analytics giving us all that data. Because here, if I go to acquisition and go to channel, it's then showing me the top kind of social channels that have been bringing people to my page, and YouTube, you can see, is the top one there, okay? And that means that perhaps I need to just focus mainly on YouTube, because that's exactly where my audience is sitting. So pretty cool. So just some things to think about there, okay? Now I'm just going to break this down for you guys, but again, just based on the different kind of social channels, you've got Facebook, which is based on location, gender, age, you know, life interests, all of that stuff. Also, we've got Twitter as well as one of those platforms. So location, gender, keywords as well that they will be using, hashtags, and also who they're following to. So this is another targeting option. And then another one here is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn for our business users. Again, these are just some of the things, job title and skill set being one of those targeting options. So these are some of the targeting options that we will be asked when we create these ads in order to make sure that we get to that right customer and we're not shouting out to all of the other people who don't necessarily find our product interesting, or maybe it just doesn't connect with them. We definitely want to try and target it. Okay, so we're going to try and match these statements to the social network. Okay, so this is again going to be quite interactive, so I'm going to read these out to you guys. You just let me know what you think it is. All right, so we've got the first one, which is I want to target females who live in Cape Town, like jewelry, and have a birthday coming up. Okay, let me know just in the chat right now what you think would be the best social network for this type of person. Okay, for that first one, let us know in the chat. Just give us the one word so we can see it, so we know exactly that you guys are getting it. Again, we'll move on to the second one. The second one here is I want to target people who live in Lagos and are following my competitors. What do you think that one should be, okay, in terms of the social channel? Okay, let us know in the chat so we've got it. And the last one is I want to target financial directors who work in IT based in Nairobi. What platform would be ideal for this person? Okay, so again, what we'll do is we just want you guys to be really, really interactive in the chat. I mean, there is a little bit of a delay. So I'm seeing that first one, we're getting a lot of Facebook and Instagram. So let's just take a look and see if that's right. Facebook, yeah. Instagram, I would definitely say, is the one. Yep, everyone's going crazy. So I can see, yep, keep it interactive, guys. Let's go. Let's keep this pushing. Cool. And so let's look at the second one, which is here. Twitter. Yeah, thank you. Some of you guys got this right. So Twitter for the second one. Some of you are saying LinkedIn. Some of you have said Facebook. But yes, Twitter definitely for the second one. Okay, guys. And we're just going to get ready for the third one. All right. So let me know for the third one what you think it is. And you're right. It is LinkedIn. The majority of you guys got that right for sure. So LinkedIn is definitely the one. All right. So cool. You guys understand in terms of the best channels for these personas that we've got on here. Really, really cool, man. All right, so guys, thank you so much for being interactive with us. Again, the moderators, you guys are doing a great job. See, it's very busy in the chat right now, which is cool. But let's keep pushing. So we're going to pause for some questions, and this is now come to the end of this section, or session even. So let's have a look to see if there are any questions that you guys might have for me. I'll just hang on a few moments just so our moderators can bring the questions over to me. But again, this hopefully has helped you, especially if you're looking to have some paid for advertisements in a different form, whether it could be display, you know, whether it could be social media, and also search as well. So again, if all the different forms that you guys could try and go for. So let's have a look. Let's see if there is any questions that you guys might have as we're just pausing for that one on there. So let's have a look. And I'll just hang around. Let's see if we've got any questions. Now, we do have our next and last session, which is coming up, okay? And that is our next one, which is going to be looking at, you know, digital marketing and, again, how we can kind of use analytics and so on to get that going. So, again, if you guys are really interested in just understanding how you can measure kind of what you're doing with these ads, then please get involved in the next session, which is going to be coming up in 5 minutes or so. So we definitely want you guys to come in. Yep. Okay. Good. So what you could do in terms of benchmarks, you could go to something like HubSpot, because there's different benchmarks on there that you can use. So again, if you're interested, maybe you're doing some A/B testing in terms of marketing, I would say take a look at those as well, which is good. So HubSpot could be one of the places that you go to. Let's see. What are some ad policies? Oh, well, it really depends on the different platforms that you've got, but the majority of them, you might find that again, especially when you're running these ads, that we have to definitely make sure that we are fitting kind of the demographic of the type of audience, but might have some limitations as well to what that channel can do for you. Okay, but the majority of them, are pretty much great, but we need to make sure that we're not kind of using particular words as well, because the algorithms will pick them up and put that away. So again, we need to really be smart in the type of language and images that we're using. Okay, can you make a live for Facebook ads or SEO SEM? Yes, you can make a live for well, not, you can do an ad for an up and coming Facebook live that you could be doing. Same thing for Instagram. I have been doing that too. And again, if you are doing something like that, I'm not sure if I get your question, but I can see here you've got SEO and SEM, please. So I'm not sure, but again, if you did want to do that, yes, you definitely can do an ad, or maybe you're asking us if we're going to be doing more sessions on that. Just have to rephrase that question that you sent to me, Doha. If you can just rephrase your question for me, that would be great, because I'm not sure I totally understand it. Cool. Well, I guess that pretty much is all of the kind of questions that we've got, or the for this section or session. You guys have been really good, because it's been super interactive that you guys have been getting involved in. Now, as mentioned, we have our next session, which is coming up. So again, please, if you're interested in how you can measure the activity that you're doing, that is going to be the next thing that we're going to take a look at. Okay, so again, I've got one more question that's coming. Analytics on the website, is it a free plugin, or it comes naturally with every website? No, it's free, but you have to set it up, and this is what we're going to explore in the next presentation. Okay, so stay tuned. We'll be coming back in a few moments with the next presentation. Again, guys, great to have you here. Go and make yourself a drink, refreshing drink, come back, and we will see you here back soon again at this YouTube webinar for Grow with Google. Okay, I want to welcome you guys all back for the final session. I do apologize, that's not the name of the session, but it is getting started with analytics, which is what we're going to explore next. So again, it's great that we've been looking at the different marketing strategies and plans, and making sure that perhaps if we want to do like a pay for advertisement, maybe that might be on search or social, all of these different things, we need to measure. We need to make sure that we are measuring exactly what we're doing and we're getting return of investment. Now I can see here there is one or two questions as well, perhaps that I've missed off too, and some of these will be answered within this point here, and we will be stopping for a pause for questions as well at the end of this presentation. So again, guys, welcome back if you are all kind of ready, and it's been great having you guys here for the last two sessions, and this is our final one, which we're going to be taking a look at getting started with analytics. So again, this is really good for trying to measure and work out exactly how well your campaign is doing and what your audience is doing. Anyone who wants to know more about, again, how your customers discover you, who are your customers, analytics and insights is really, really important. So this is the last presentation that we're going to do, which is just a full circle within our business presentation for marketing here at Grow with Google. If you're joining us, my name is Ashton. I am your trainer from Google, and also we've got our moderators as well who are on the side here. So good to have God Knows and also Elizabeth there too. So guys, welcome. And we want it to be as interactive as possible. Please give us your questions, and then right at the end we are going to try to answer what we can with these. So again, I can see there is definitely some great engagement which is going on in that chat. So welcome to getting started with analytics and insights. This is what we're going to explore really. So these are the different sections within the module. So we're firstly going to ask the right questions. What is it that really we need to be covered when it comes to asking questions, and what kind of data is going to be very beneficial to us? So really that's important. Also, we'll then learn about the different tools that you can use. So again, it could be Google Analytics, it could be the insight tools, but which ones is going to help you kind of address some of the questions that you might have. And then finally, we've got understanding the data, okay, because there's loads and loads of information that will come from these free tools, but it's which one is going to be beneficial to you and also your campaign and what you're running. So again, this is the three different sections that we have. And again, please have pen, paper ready, as we are going to do a quick walkthrough really of analytics, so you guys will be able to see it and what it really is. Okay, so the process really of analytics, really, these are just some of the different generic processes when it comes to analytics. And the first one really, what is your objective? Okay, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Now, I know that we've mentioned this before, but again, when we've looked at the strategy and all the rest of it, we need to have a goal that we're trying to achieve. So what is it that you're trying to achieve? And this could be the first really objective that you are just really trying to work out with your online activity and your advertisement that you might be doing. Second would be, what questions do I need to be addressed? Now again, this is quite interesting because you might find that you're running a campaign, or you might find that your website is not doing so well. So again, like that could be a question to you. Why am I not getting enough traffic to my site? Or again, why is it that people actually come to my first page but then they disappear and they don't buy my products? So again, this is a question that you guys will probably want to answer, especially if you have a website. Many of us will just kind of think, oh, okay, well, I want to get more people coming along. That is the objective. But why is it that, again, when they come, they don't really navigate correctly to where the products are? So again, this could be one of the questions that you might have. Also, where do I get that information from? Okay, so again, you might find that analytics could be the place where you get it from, or insights. But what we're going to talk about is going to have different layers to it, where you'll be able to kind of get the right information to help answer your question and complete your objective of what you're trying to do. Okay. And then lastly, we've got here, what do I do with that information? Okay. So again, this is just things that we're going to explore as we keep pushing through. And the first thing really is we're just going to take a look at the objectives. Okay. And that's the first part of understanding. So this is really interesting because really what we're trying to do here is just run through some of the objectives that you might have being a business owner and especially being online as well. So what could these be? So again, tell more people about my business. Creating that awareness could be one of those main objectives that you might be trying to do. And again, we looked at this when we were dealing with the strategy, the digital marketing strategy. We made sure that we had the start. A second one could be you need to sell more products via your website, via your online activity. Okay, so that's again quite a good one. Third one could be to identify the most valuable customers, okay, and the ones that literally are going onto your site and spending money and so on, or maybe hanging around a little bit long on your page, you know, to really see what's going on within your business. And also the fourth one could be to find new ways of engaging with previous customers as well. Okay, so these are just some examples of objectives, but think about it yourself. For your business, what is an objective that you need fulfilled? What is the thing that you're looking to do? Especially when it comes to your objectives for your business. Now, as mentioned before, you may have the business objective, but translating it over to the online objective is really what you want to do as well, okay? Especially when we're looking at analytical tools that are going to help us measure the activity that we're doing in terms of marketing, okay? So again, this is just one or two examples that, again, will be great just to set up the point of going through and getting this data that is going to help you get to it. Now, second, we've got what questions do I need to address? Okay, so again, this is again where we're just going to have a look at some examples here. Now, REEN is one of those marketing terms, and really it's reach, engage, activate, and also nurture as well. Okay, so this is really kind of just one of the terms that is used when it comes to marketing and making sure that we have a process in order to make sure that we're doing well and we get a great return of investment. So you can see some of the points that we've got here. So who is my target audience and how do I reach them online? I think I saw that question in the chat. Someone was asking that. How do I understand like which social platform is doing well? How do I understand all of this? So again, your audience, if you're not too sure, maybe you've got your website up already, but you really want to understand who your audience is, who you're connecting with. Quite cool. The other one there is, are they finding what they need? Very interesting, because this could all be down to the customer journey, the flow, the mapping of your site. You might find that things are not really obvious on your webpage. Again, it's like having a shop. Okay, if you've got a shop and you're not putting kind of the promotions in the eye line of your customer, they're just going to walk away from it. Okay, so again, it's the same thing. If you have a website, these are maybe one of the questions you might have is like, how are they finding what they need? And, you know, again, you might find it could be quite complicated, so people are not buying from your website. Are they booking? Okay, so you might find that, again, if you need to have those leads on there, are they booking? Are they coming back? Are they doing those things? And then lastly, are they coming back to your site? Okay, so you want to make sure as well that we can nurture. Okay, make sure that we are nurturing our customers. So they, again, like what we're doing. They've embodied the brand. Okay, they understand that. But then also for them to actually come back and maybe find out what's going on, new products and so on. Are we doing that for them to nurture and come back to our business? So again, these are just some of those questions that you might have. Okay, now again, you may find that these examples, they're great, but what is the question that you have about your business? Okay, especially being online, what questions may you have? So I want to kind of open this up to everybody that's there. And again, we are going to just pause for some questions here first. But really, we're starting really basic because a lot of people will go ahead and they look at all of this data that they have, and it's like, it's a bit too much. But really, it's great to have that ground point of understanding what your objective is and also what you need answered, okay, in terms of your online activity and also your website that you might have. So again, this is quite interesting. Let's see if we do have any questions. I know we've literally just started. Does have any questions at all? This would be great for us to just go through. So I'm seeing one or two that have come through, but I'm not sure if they're from this session and probably from our previous session that we had. But I will just answer one of them, which is, please can you deliver a teaching on G Suite to understand the Google Ads voucher that comes with? Normally it's just something that you'll find they will email you. Now we do have, along with Grow with Google Africa skills, that there is a G Suite webinar that you can watch. Okay, so please have a search on this YouTube channel where you should be able to get that. Okay, so this is a good one. How much should you spend weekly, monthly on paid ads? Depends on really what your strategy is. Okay, so again, if you're trying to maybe reach a potential goal and you notice, okay, well, 2 weeks in I'm not reaching the goal, then you may need to increase kind of your reach. You may need to have more ads going out. You know, you might be posting more. So again, really depends on the type of business that you have and the activity that you're doing, but it's always good maybe just to start off with a small budget, see how well you go. Okay, but again, before you go into these things, do it organically first. That's the best advice I can give you, so you're not wasting your money. You definitely want to understand those milestones that we brought up before, and analytics will help you out with this. And then it goes yet again to another question, which is how often should you run paid ads? Okay, and again, it's all to do with your strategy. If you're knowing that you're trying to measure your activity and you're not meeting it, especially if your goal or milestone is coming up real soon, then that's probably going to determine how many ads you need to be putting out there. Are you reaching your audience? Now again, analytics and insights is going to help you guys answer that question, because you can see the activity that is going on your website. So again, this is definitely something that it's depending on your business, but also the type of kind of goal that you've set as well depends on all of this. But I would definitely say do organic first and start off light. Don't put a lot of money in. Just kind of start off really light and see how well that activity is doing. See how well the ad is doing by using insights or analytics to see how well that's doing. But we're going to go on a little bit more with this. But again, great guys that you have got some good. God knows he's doing a good thing here. He's definitely said organically first. Yes, with smiley face. Yes, that's definitely one of the pro points that I could recommend to you guys. Just don't jump into putting that budget behind. So I definitely would agree with that. Okay, so we're just gonna pause away from those questions and let's move on to the third step that we've got here, which is where do I get that information from? Okay, really interesting. It's down into a little table here. Okay, so this is really good to look at, because you can see here, if I needed to have the information to answer the question, and it's based on my social media kind of campaign or activity that I'm doing on social media, here you can see that we've got the different social channels. These social channels could be Twitter, could be Facebook, could be Instagram. They all have insight tools, okay, which you can go in and check the data and see exactly how well your campaign is doing, how well your post is doing. Especially if you put money behind it, you definitely want to see the engagement and how well you're doing, and if you're matching or meeting your target, which is really important. Now that last icon that you can see there, so I'll just bring this up for you guys, is we've got this little owl and that is Hootsuite. If anyone kind of knows Hootsuite, it's really good for seeing an overview of all of your social media. It's a freemium, so basically you pay when you get a little bit over into the application, but it does have a free option. And so if you do have a Twitter, if you do have a Facebook and all these different channels, you can place them all into Hootsuite and you can analyze and see how well you're doing on these channels. So this could be a good point for anyone maybe who's not too sure about what kind of platform they should be concentrating on when it comes to social media. So again, really good. The other one that we've got here is organic search. So again, there was a question that I saw somewhere in the chat that someone was asking, what more could we do in terms of like with these keywords? What else can we do? One thing that I could definitely suggest to you guys, especially if you're doing SEO, is to take a look at the search console from Google. Okay, so all you'll need to do literally is just set it up. Okay, so go to Search Console's website, and then from there it will ask you either your DNS settings for your website, or it's just going to ask you for some code from your website, and this is to validate the fact that you are the owner of the site. So once you've done that, it will then start to just go through a few things and sort that out for you. But we're going to go into this just a little bit more in the pages to come. So Search Console is definitely the thing if you're looking to grow and see how well you're doing in terms of organic search. Google My Business is also one of those as well, and we're going to explore that too. Also, when you're thinking about the type of, data that you want to know about your website, this could potentially be how people getting to your website, how long are people staying on your website, is there a page where I've got my products? Are they, are people actually buying? Am I meeting my goals? Google Analytics gives you so much data, but again, it's just finding the right type of data which is going to help you answer your question, and then also help you to rectify it so you can get closer to the goal you're trying to get to. And then also we've got paid search as well. So again, if you want to kind of use those tools, there is one or two tools again that you can use for paid search on there. Again, there's the planners that we've got. So display planner, if anyone wants to do that, and also the keyword planners as well. They're also some of the tools that could be used here. But these are some of the things that we are going to explore as we go in. So firstly, if you are on social media and using Facebook, the Facebook Insights is really good. So if you have a business page, this is great. Some of the things that you can be picking up when it comes to the insights of your Facebook business page could be the activity, the page views, okay, and you probably see some of this within the screen shot that we've got here, the likes that people have for your page, the reach in terms of, again, how you're getting out to many people, like how many people are actually engaging and so on with this. Also page engagement and followers as well. Okay, now you'll find that this is just for Facebook. Okay, but again, if you go into Instagram, it has similar options, especially for dealing with that type of analytics and data that you need to help just kind of get your question answered and solve the problem perhaps that you might have with your online activity. So again, the insight pages on these social platforms, LinkedIn also has it, Twitter has it. Okay, so again, just to name all of them, but again, they all have a insight section. Okay, so you can use this data to try and help work out the activity of what your customers are doing, but perhaps where you need to improve as well. Okay, just to help get that that goal completed on there. Now, I mentioned Search Console before, and just to bring this up again, if you do have a website, this is a great tool. Okay, it's fantastic, it's free. What's good about it, firstly, is the fact that it's going to tell you how well you're doing, okay, in terms of how many people are kind of discovering your page, and also, most importantly, what keywords have been used in search to bring up your pages as well. So you know if you're doing really well with your keyword research, okay? So with Search Console, one of the things as well is it's great for indexing with Google. So if you do have your web page and perhaps it's not kind of showing up correctly on Google, this is where you could use Search Console. Now, again, if you do want to get this set up, one of the things that you can do is go to Search Console, okay, which will be that website. It's then going to ask you for some settings. So again, to validate your website, validate who you are too. So it will ask you for your DNS settings, again, for your website. So again, if you do have a site, you're not too sure about that, you would probably just need to ask your web developer, or maybe go to your website creator and see if they can give you those details. And once you have this all set up, you'll then start to see the data. And as you can see just within this screenshot, it is super amazing, because you can see here, we can see how many people have been coming, the impressions as well. We can see over amount of time how well we've been doing in terms of ranking, and also you can see here in terms of some of the search queries that have been popular to bring up that page for you. So again, this is really cool, and I can definitely recommend it. It's free, and especially anyone who's kind of working on their SEO, especially for their site, so search engine optimization, you can use this fantastic tool to help you guys out a little bit more. So I definitely would recommend Search Console. It's fantastic. So one of the other ones that we've got here is Google My Business. Now, I mentioned this to you guys before, and with Google My Business, what's great about it is not only can it have like a knowledge card and create a website for you, but it can also show you the engagement as well, because it does have a tool especially for just looking at the data and your online presence. And again, as you can see here, when you sign up for it and you go to the Google My Business page, it is actually going to give you all of this kind of data, okay, just letting you know how well you're doing in terms of being discovered and who is also discovering you too. It's not as immense as Google Analytics, but it is great, especially if you, again, just want to kind of see the activity and how you're engaging with your customers. This is fantastic. So again, it's free. If anyone's got Google My Business, please take a look at the data section, the analytics section that we have on here, which is really cool. Okay, and as you can see here, we've got Google Analytics too. So we're gonna, in the next couple of slides, just show you how you can set it up, like really briefly. But with Google Analytics, as mentioned, if you have a website, you must have analytics working in it. I always say this. The reason why I say it is because, and you're not in the shop to see exactly what the customers are doing. I really mean that. So what I would say to you guys is, you know, it's important to see. It's great because it does give you live data. So you can literally go into analytics and see how well your site is doing, who's on your site currently. All of that information is literally going to be on here. So again, I would definitely say analytics is great. It's free as well, but it also just helps you understand the behavior of what your customers are doing, how they're discovering you, and so on. So these are just some of those data tools that you can use, and they're free, okay, for you to go ahead and just, you know, get set up so it works on your website or maybe your social campaign in order to help you guys out. So we're going to pause for some questions. And again, I'll just kind of wait a little while because there's a little bit of a, just a little bit of a lag. So let's see if there's any questions that you guys might have for me. Okay, good question. So how many followers should I have on each of the social media to be able to display insights? Yeah, it's not really about the followers. What you'll need to do is literally ensure you have a business page on that social media channel. Okay, so if it's, let's say, Instagram, just need to convert it over to a business Instagram page, and then the insight option will show up. But they must be business pages in order for you to see that data when it comes to insights. Okay, so make sure you have a business account on there. What else? Is there any other questions which are flying out? Let's see. I'm looking, but I'm not sure. Naming your picture from back end of the website, does that have an effect on SEO? Yes, if you are going to put a picture and you have a little description and perhaps you put the keywords in there, that is going to have an effect on SEO. Again, you could use Search Console just to see like how the impact is with that. But yes, try not to hide keywords, because I know some people may do this, might hide the keywords somewhere on their page, hide them within pictures and so on. You don't want to do too much of that, because again, you might find that as it gets indexed through Search Console, that it's just going to pick it up. The algorithms are going to pick it up and they're going to kind of disallow you to kind of be quite high in that ranking. So definitely just make sure you put those keywords in the right place. Do you have anyone who can help us with Search Console setup? I have access to the back end of our site with no current agency to assist. One of the things that you'll need to know is DNS settings. We actually do have, if you go onto YouTube, there is a video, a Search Console video from Google that will be able just to help you out to get it set up. So I would say just do a quick search on YouTube and you'll be able to get that. Okay. Please, with the Google My Business, can you verify if you don't have an office yet? Mohammed, good question. If you don't have a location but you operate in an area, you can still use Google My Business. Now, obviously, it's not the whole world being the area, but it could be like in a certain radius. And when you set up your Google My Business, you want to set it up as a serviced area. Okay, so you're going to be servicing that area. Okay, so Mohammed, I hope that answers your question. And again, keep them coming in, because I'm really liking what you guys are saying here. So let's see if there's any more. No, I think we're good. We're doing really well, guys. You're doing a great job. Again, Elizabeth, and God knows, if you guys got any questions, fire them into the chat. Okay, so we're gonna be here to help you guys out with any of these tools. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is just take a look at analytics. Okay, on there. Yes, good point. I've just seen one other question. Is there a maximum number of keywords that can be used per page, per post? You know what, you can put as many keywords as you want on there, but you just got to make sure that it's 100% relevant. Also, you will notice that when you run it through Search Console, it's going to let you know, okay, if you're putting too many keywords in there and it's not really working in terms of your ranking. So again, this is definitely something that running it through Search Console could help you out there. Okay, What are the differences? But we've got this question before, but I'll say it again. What are the differences between Google My Business and website? So Google My Business really is just a local listing that shows up on Google Maps and in search. It does have an option to create a website for you, but it's only one page. Okay, you cannot have anything more. It's just one page. That's it. Okay. Right, guys, we're just going to move on. Mohammed, I know you've got a question. We will be pausing for the next break shortly. Okay, so again, we'll try and answer your questions, but let's get to understanding just a little bit more about Google Analytics. Okay, so what we'll do here is we're just going to take a look at how you could set up and get Google Analytics kind of working for you. Now, again, this is great. This is actually showing you a quick dashboard really of some of the data that could be coming in on here. Now, it's really cool because you can see here we've got, you know, the graphical location. Let me see if I can bring this up. I've got the graphical location over here of the potential where most of our users are coming from. We've also got like kind of our coverage in terms of how many people are visiting right now, how many people are on the page, all of this different stuff, okay, which is showing like the different channels where people could have come in from to visit our page. All of that data is really, really, really important. So let's just keep going and let's see exactly how we can set this up. Now, firstly, if you don't have Google Analytics working on your web page, what's going on? That's the first thing I want to say. What's happening? You definitely got to have this working. So if you haven't, what you'll need to do first is go ahead to analytics.google.com. So go ahead and have a look at that. And once you get there, it's going to just ask you a couple of questions. So it's going to ask you kind of like, you know, the category of, again, your industry. Okay, it's going to ask you a few things about your business. Okay, so again, this is completely free, guys. We don't need to pay for it. It's completely free. So what I would say here again is go to analytics.google.com and just fill in that form. And that will all be kind of set up for you, which is great. And then as we move on, once you go through filling in that form and you finish doing it, it's then going to ask you to take a tracking ID, which you can see here. So again, I'll just bring this up to you guys. So there's a little tracking ID that's showing up here. Now with that tracking ID, what you'll notice is you'll need to take that ID and put it into your website backend. Okay, so anyone who's using WordPress, you know, any sort of website builder, they will definitely have a Google Analytics tracking option, and all you need to do really is copy that and paste it into the back end of your website, and then it can then start to connect and look at the engagement and start to generate that data for you, which is really, really important. Okay, so again, this is important. Just make sure when you fill in that form that you definitely get that tracking ID and you copy and paste it. Now you might notice again that it might be a little bit technical. You may need to go to a web developer, maybe, especially if you can't access your backend. So potentially the person who made that site for you, you may need to get to them if you can't access the backend. But again, this is really important. You only have to do it once. Once this is done, it's done forever. Okay, so just to make that point. Now again, you'll notice when you do go to these website kind of builders, or if you go to WordPress, you just need to copy and paste it into the Google Analytics section. Okay, as you can see here. Now once you've done that, hit save and so on. It will then connect analytics to your website. Okay, as you can see here, very, very easy to do. If you kind of can get to the back end, they'll all have it, which is great. And once it's set up, you'll kind of notice straight away that it's going to start to generate that data. A lot of information is going to be starting to come in. So what we need to do really is make sure that we are getting the right data. How do we kind of criteria and sift through some of that data that we might have? So just to take a look at this. Now, as you can see here, this is just like a screenshot really of analytics just working on the left side. This is kind of like how we navigate through analytics, because it's got all of these different things in terms of reporting. So the 4 different areas, okay, audience, who are they? If we needed to understand a little bit more about the audience and where they're coming from, what part of the world they're in, okay, all of that type of stuff, then this is where we can click onto the audience report and find out a little bit more. Acquisition, how did they find me? Very important for anybody who perhaps is doing SEO, or maybe has some content marketing going on, or perhaps you have a ad campaign on social media that's going on. Is it working out? How would you know if that campaign is working out for you? And again, as you can see here with acquisition, this is going to give you all of that information, which is great. Okay, behavior. When they come to your website, what are they doing? You might find that you've got like that home page, which is great. Are they coming and going, oh, I don't like this, and going away? Or are they not making their way, again, maybe to the product page of where you have all of your different products you're trying to sell? So again, this is going to give you all of that information, okay? If you want to know maybe the improvements of your website, maybe you find that your website is not engaging enough, that's where you're going to find that information, which is under behavior. Then lastly, you can see here we've got conversions. So what are they worth to you? Okay, so this is really just having some goals that you can measure and be set, and potentially you could go, well, okay, I've got a goal where I want to have more sales in this time frame and so on. So you can keep taking a look at how many of those customers are converting into, you know, buying customers basically. So this is just the 4 main areas. Now you can click into these and they are going to expand and give you more detail. Okay, so again, we'll just take a little look into this as we keep going. Now another thing here is we've got the data side of things. All right, so you'll notice that when you do go into these sections, especially, you've got dimensions and you've got metrics. Okay, so when we think about a dimension, it's the what. All right, so again, what is it that we're trying to, again, just have that data come from? So if we're looking at this screenshot here, this is really to do with how people are finding and discovering us. Okay, so you can see that first one there, if I just bring this up, is all to do with the organic search. Okay, so you can see here, these are the different criterias that we can have in terms of trying to measure what we're looking for. So these are the dimensions. But then if we go over here to the metrics, we can really see that data, okay, and try and measure it. So these are the numbers. So really the metric is the numbers and the dimension is what. Okay, so again, just to quickly break this down, especially when you go into analytics, because there's a lot of data that is going to be showing up on here. Okay, so also just that last point, what do I do with that information? Okay, so let's just take a look back at Reen, and again, making sure that we can answer those questions correctly. So when we think about the reach, here's a great question. How are people finding me? I think that's a really valid point. And again, you can see here just some of those points. Identify what search terms are driving organic traffic. So again, anyone who perhaps is doing SEO kind of research, you want to know what's happening there. So again, that's quite an interesting one. Engage. What are people engaging with when they find me online? So again, if you want to know how well your website is doing, you know, are people going on to the other pages? Are they potentially just staying on the home page? What is it? Okay, what are your visitors doing? So how are they engaging? Which is, again, a great one. Activate as well. So what channels is driving the most bookings? Okay, so really here's one point, is to identify which referring sites are driving conversions. Okay, this could also be down to when you look at your social channels too. And then also to nurture as well. So again, are customers happy to leave a review? Okay, again, you want to be able to kind of get that feedback, okay, especially when it comes to it. And again, you could try different ways to encourage purchasers to leave reviews, okay, because again, those reviews work out well. They get those customers coming back, but also new customers could see this. This could be 1 or 2 of your questions that you might have, okay? And again, the data that we are going to get is going to help us out with that. So let's see if there are any questions before we kind of pause, but let's have a look at some of the questions that we might have. Right, so it's definitely expanded, I can see here. So please, with the Google My Business, can you verify if you don't have an office yet? Yes, you can. What I would definitely say is to the moderators that are in the chat, if you can just put a response to that, the best way that you can validate a business if you don't have an office yet for Google My Business. Let's see. My SEO is ranking well, but not getting new customers. Okay, valid point. So if your SEO is ranking really well, but you're not getting new customers, you might want to try another platform. Okay, because you might find that, you know, SEO is working really well, but you might find that social media, there could be a potential new audience there. So I would try and just maybe try a campaign on another channel, on another platform, and then maybe use analytics to see how well it's doing. Okay, so again, this is definitely something that I would say for you guys to do, especially for that one. What else do we have? Let's see if there's any other questions that you guys might have for me, especially when it comes to data and understanding that. No, I think with that is pretty much it. So I'm seeing here, is there a maximum? Yep, no, we've answered that one. So yeah, I pretty much think that we do have most of your questions. Let's see if there is any more that is coming through. I don't think there is. I think we are pretty much cool. Well, what I want to do really is just, if you're not too sure about analytics and maybe you just want to have a live view, perhaps to see basically how it works and all the rest of it, you can actually go ahead within Google, and just to really show you guys this, but you can actually go ahead and just do a quick Google search for analytics. And just to show you, so I've literally just done a quick search for Google Analytics demo. Okay, so you can do this and you'll see the first page that we've got here is for analytics, the demo itself. Okay, so again, you can see here, really cool. All right, and again, as you go through this page, there will be an option literally just to click to access the demo account. All right, so this is a real website. It's based on our merchandising page that we have. So Google has a merchandising store, and you'll be able to kind of see what's going on now. Again, what's really good about this is if I go ahead and click onto the analytics, this is the analytical view. So I can go ahead to real time, and what's great is it will just show me an overview of all of the current real-time data that's going on. So at the moment, I can see how many people are on the page. I can see all of this information, but this is great. This is stuff that you want to know, especially when it comes to just understanding what's really going on. So again, this is really cool. And again, what's really good is that if I go to audience, which is on the side, you remember those different sections that we had, and just go to overview. This is great because again, it's going to kind of give me all of that information about my audience or my customers that are coming in. So great because it gives me kind of a breakdown of the different countries but that are potentially coming over. I can even understand the type of systems that they're using as well. Very, very cool. Now, as mentioned, there is behavior and all these other things that you can do for new and returning customers and so on. Let's take a look at acquisition. This will be the last thing that I'll show you guys on here, is the fact that you can go into just the overview of this. Let's go to all traffic actually. Let's have a look at that. Now, this is great because if we just take a look at the channels in terms of how people are discovering our webpage, how they're coming over, you can see just this list here. Remember we were talking about the dimensions and also metrics. So these are all of the different ones. So for this, the organic search is doing really, really well. We've got direct social, not as high as organic, but again, you're really going to get an overview of what is going on in terms of your website. So again, there's so much to this, but again, try and just think about those questions and what you need answered to help your business in terms of it grow online. All right, well, cool. We have now come to the end, but your next steps really is figure out what it is in terms of your goal first for this entire presentation. What is your goal? What is your objective? Translate that to an online goal. Okay, what is it that you need to do in terms of your activity? Understand your audience. Really, really important. Okay, that you understand your audience, but also understand what platform, what channel that they could be on, because again, they could be on a social media channel and so on. Really understanding who they are. And then also, if you are going to do that, don't forget to measure, and some of these tools that we've mentioned are great ways to measure. Set yourself a time frame for how long you want to kind of be measuring that goal and what it is that you're trying to achieve. So again, hopefully all of this has helped you. Definitely those analytical tools are great, definitely, and I would recommend that you guys all kind of have a look at some of the analytics that you might have for your site if you haven't set it up. I'm also using things like Search Console and the social media insight tools as well, just to measure and see how well your business is doing. This data is important because once you have that data, you can then choose to improve or just change things on your website, or maybe your messaging, maybe you're using the wrong channel. These are just some of the questions that we might have as business owners, especially if we're running our website and so on. So again, really cool, as this has been a very good session. I'm just trying to see if there is any other questions. I think I've got one more. So my SEO is ranking well. Yeah, but you're not getting new customers. Yeah, I think we answered that one already. But yes, I would definitely say Search Console could help you out there, and maybe just looking at some other channels. But I think we have pretty much answered everything. I want to say a big thank you to the team here that has really been helping to get this sorted, right? I definitely want to thank all of you, especially when it comes to our moderators that have been doing a really good job. Elizabeth, you're super cool in Kenya, and then also as well, you guys have been very good. I've noticed you've been answering all those questions. So again, big thank you to all of you guys that have been helping out. And that leads me to say thank you. It's been a pleasure having you guys here at Google Africa. It's been amazing. This has been a great program, especially if you want to go ahead and take a look at some of the other sessions that we've been doing. We've got wealth of different information that we've been giving away to help you guys, especially at this time. So please take some time, have a look. There's definitely something for you, especially if you're trying to promote yourself online, maybe get a job, or perhaps keep yourself safe, your family safe, and so on. So there's all of that which you can just access through our YouTube channel here. Again, if you do want to find out a little bit more about what we're doing, you can go to g.co/digital skills. We also have a course which is accredited as well for the fundamentals of digital marketing. So please take a look at that. And again, it leads me to say thank you for your time and for coming along. I hope this has been very beneficial and has been an eye-opener, especially for your businesses and trying to promote yourself online. So again, that leads me to say stay safe. It's been a major pleasure having you guys here. Take care, and we'll see you again real soon.